And now, Fagan and Biegel. All right, welcome to the Friday edition, October 3rd. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. I'm just going to say it right here, right now. Today's going to be an amazing show.
Woo, that sounds exciting.
It's going to be an amazing show. I just feel it in my bones. Even though the forecast calls for snow tomorrow in Anchorage. What? I'm not letting it get me down. This is the show. This is if you were ever going to watch a Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie show or listen to the Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie show, this would be the one to listen to.
That sounds mysterious.
Can I ask you who screws around with this mic? Is it you guys?
I've never touched that mic in my life.
I mean, honestly, this is how they have to be talking with it. Either that or like this. Maybe they're like this.
What's it doing?
Well, it's pointed completely down. This is not the way I left it.
Well, not everyone is 6'4"
there are other
or whatever
people
you
in
are.
here doing shows.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, do you want us to ban all other shows on the radio station?
Yeah.
Just so your mic won't be...
I think so.
That would be nice, actually. Could we all have our personal mics?
I think so.
Yeah, they had the beer show in there yesterday afternoon. They were taping it.
Does it smell like beer?
It did yesterday.
Does it smell like puke?
No.
No?
No.
Did you see that video or picture of that guy cleaning up the Ebola vomit? That's really gross. Sorry, I guess we shouldn't talk like that.
Enjoy those sunny side eggs that are running as you make your breakfast this morning.
Well, he's cleaning it with a pressure washer.
You know how you've made it in life? Are you ready, Brian? You going to do this on a quick cue? You with me, Brian? Okay. You know how you make it in life? You know how you know you've arrived?
In your car?
You're on a radio show?
You guys are just a bunch of comics here. Everybody's a comedian.
Do I know? Where is Dan headed?
You know, we were talking earlier about Glenn and how we've learned that he's funny. And I've known him for a long time. I had no idea he was funny. And it's very rare to be funny, as we've established on this show. For example, what
are you trying to say?
Well, you're not funny. You know that.
I don't think he's trying to say something. He's saying something. We just have to figure out what it is.
Well, I mean, you don't think you're funny, right, Bonnie?
No, I'm a clown.
Yeah. And even Brian's funny with his little inserts. But you know you've arrived in life when you have your own. Who wants to take a guess?
You've arrived in life.
When you have your own
Parody song.
Oh no, theme song.
Oh, your own theme song.
When you have your own theme song, you are somebody.
Okay.
And
I'm it. Yeah,
now
I like that.
have my own theme song.
Uh-oh.
Woohoo!
Hit it, Brian.
Well, my body could use a little slimming. I keep my shirt on when I go swimming. And I ain't seen my feet since 1984. The old lady wants to roll in the hay. We turn the lights down all the way, 'cause I don't look good naked anymore. No, I don't look good naked anymore. I'm a deep-fried double-wide version of the man I was before. If I keep on like I'm doing, I won't fit through the door, and I don't look good naked anymore. Well, I used to be a hell of a man. I chopped wood with just one hand, but I can't do the things I've done before. Well, it all happened kind of slow, but I guess I kind of let myself go. Now I don't look good naked anymore. I don't look good naked anymore. I'm a deep-fried double-wide version of the man I was before. If I keep on like I'm doing, I won't fit through the door, and I don't look good naked anymore. With each and every passing year came a lot of French fries and beer, and my belly hung a little closer to the floor. Now my belly as big as a truck, and the old lady don't wanna, she don't wanna, 'cause I don't look good naked anymore. No, I don't look good naked anymore. I'm a deep fried double wide version of the man I was before. If you keep on like I'm doing, I'll get to the door. I don't look good naked anymore. No, I don't look good naked anymore. I'm a deep fried double wide version of the man I was before. If you keep on like I'm doing, I'm walking right out the door, and I don't look good naked anymore. No, I don't look good naked anymore.
I almost lost my coffee
I
there.
recommend you get a beard like the guy in the video, Dan.
The video's funnier when you can see it in person.
Yeah, you can see it on the YouTube rebroadcast. I put it up there.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
good.
Everybody should have a theme song, right?
Yeah, there was some good harmonies in there.
I am. I'm still. I'm a little bit stunned. I'm a little bit jolted. By that Dan Kendall interview yesterday. And for those who didn't see it, and we may replay it, the very short version. I cut it down at some point in the show. What time was he on yesterday? 7:30?
7:15 to
Yeah,
7:45.
7:15.
Maybe we'll play it later in the broadcast, or maybe even this hour. We'll see. But
You know, it needs its own theme song. Friends.
well,
Friends are friends.
you know, Glenn,
I got friends in low places.
High places.
what is your thought on his presentation yesterday? Basically, he wrote a column, and I read it again last night.
I don't think he wrote it.
No, I agree with you, but you can't say that. You're assuming. You're speculating that he.
Well, I've been involved in many campaigns.
Yeah.
And you have a certain number of columns that you're gonna release.
Right.
You're gonna put somebody's name on them.
Yeah.
And the question you always ask, and I've asked this myself several times to other people, will you put your name on this column?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Right.
Not will you write a column, will you go through all this effort in order to figure out what to write, how to write, because most people don't write columns. They just don't.
That would be a very educated assumption, because based on your experience, it happens, and I agree. I know that happens too, but we don't know that for sure. But,
So there's a column with his name on it.
right,
That's what we do know.
which we don't know if he wrote or not.
Yeah.
But the column gives the very clear impression that this guy, Dan Kendall, will not vote for Sean Parnell because of the way Sean Parnell handled the National Guard situation.
Mm-hmm.
There's no disputing that that's what the column is designed to make you think.
That's the purpose of the column.
That it was so poorly mishandled
Mhm.
that I cannot vote for this guy, basically. Well, as we had him on here yesterday, obviously, actually, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to play the clip. We're going to take a break. I'm going to play you a little bit of Dan Kendall here yesterday. It's a short clip, but I think you'll be you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Fagan, Biegel, Bonnie, 614. Biegel, Bonnie, 614.
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
You know, it's getting to the end of the season for fresh silvers, and if you haven't filled your freezer for the winter, this is definitely the weekend to do it. Right now, at New Sagaya and City Market, you can buy the whole silver salmon for just $4.99 a pound. Whole fish, we'll clean them and you can put them in the freezer, $4.99 a pound. New Sagaya and City Market. Oh, it's so popular. We're featuring fresh Hawaiian-style poke again this week. The great marinated fish with spices and onions and stuff, and a great big favorite in Anchorage as well as in the islands. Fresh Hawaiian poke, just $9.99 a pound. Of course, you'll find it at New Sagaya and City Market. Family loves pork chops? Well, New Sagaya and City Market have the economical way to buy them. Get the big family pack of fresh pork chops, just $3.49 a pound. And if a family pack is too big for dinner tonight, take out what you need and freeze the rest. Low price, $3.
Other than the National Guard, is there anything that makes you prefer Walker over Parnell?
Well, let's see. I've known Bill Walker since I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And
So you consider him a friend?
yes, I've known him a long time.
If it were
Sullivan is pro-life. He'll protect life while fighting to repeal Obamacare. Dan Sullivan, strong leadership for Alaska.
I'm Dan Sullivan. I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Sullivan for U.S. Senate.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Fagan and Biegel in the morning on the Talk of the Valley, KVNT 92.
Yeah. All right, 6:17. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie.
Dan called me a name that I don't understand.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah, what does that mean?
You don't come out and confront. You drop little hints.
Mm-hmm.
That's passive aggressive. Isn't he that way?
He can be.
Yeah. You can.
What
just
hint am I dropping right now?
Well, like
daggers.
Yeah. But I'm pretty confrontational. I mean, you can pretty much.
Oh.
Are you saying you can't confront me? You saying I'm thin-skinned?
No.
Oh my goodness, we're having a really big family squabble here all of a sudden. Here I'm thinking it's gonna be a great show. I'm getting passive aggression from Glenn and Bonnie accusing me of being thin-skinned.
I don't know what that means.
That means you can't take criticism.
Oh no, I'm thin-skinned. You're just a bully sometimes.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good night, everybody.
All right, I
Good
love
night,
you anyway.
Love you too.
How am I a bully?
Oh, it's Friday.
All right, what is a bully?
Let's save that for Monday.
What is a bully?
Somebody who's passive aggressive and thin-skinned.
Now, what is a bully, really?
You have a way of making me feel bad.
That's not the question.
Oh.
What is a bully?
A bully is somebody who uses. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Look it up. Google it.
Well, so you're using words
you,
you don't
Glenn.
know the meaning.
I'll Google it.
No, I mean
you just called me a bully, but you don't know
I
the
could
meaning.
give you instances.
But I need to know what you would define as being a bully.
Someone who uses their position to make others try to think their way. Oh.
Yeah, that's not even close to being a bully. What
is the definition of bully, Glenn?
I don't know that we want to go into this, but heck, we're here already,
well,
so why
bully.
not on Friday?
I thought we were talking about Glenn. Weren't we talking about Glenn?
Ebola, and there was some vomit involved earlier in the program.
A bully is someone who preys on the weak because they're weak. That's the true definition of a bully. And once you stand up to a bully, they run.
Yeah.
That's the only way to deal with a bully. And if a bully smells weakness, they will try to go after that person. They will try to, make that person feel comfortable.
That's you. That's totally you. Yes, thank you. You have a lot of good words.
I am not a bully. I am a defender of truth. And if someone comes on here and says something that I don't believe is true, and I've done it with Dan Sullivan, I've done it with Mark Begich, I've done it with people who aren't exactly weaklings.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who the person is. If they say something that I don't think is right or true, then I'm going to challenge them, and I'm going to do it in a very aggressive way. But that's not a bully.
Well, I obviously don't mind it. I come back for more.
A bully would be like, if somebody who came in who had some kind of disability or some kind of physical problem, and I just start putting them down because of that. And my goal is not to hurt people. My goal is to defend what I believe is true.
That is true. I do believe.
And it's not like I'm trying to make anybody look bad.
It's just a joke.
Instead of bully, you're a pit bull for the truth.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
And Brian's a kiss ass.
Kiss ass for the show.
I'm just going to sit here.
Trying to get Bonnie out of hot water there.
Thank you. I'm feeling a little hot here.
Sometimes you are very honest. I admire that about you.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I hope I'm not a bully. Glenn, you think I'm a bully?
You bully people on occasion, and not when you're arguing with them. I don't think that's.
Give me an example of how I bullied someone.
Not the point of it. Well, how would I? We were talking earlier about you calling Walker a communist.
You said, well, you see,
which I don't think that's true. And here you're gonna say that it is true.
No, I don't think he's a communist.
Okay.
No.
Wow.
But I believe
Why would you call him a communist?
I believe he's a socialist because I believe he wants to control the means of production when it comes to the oil industry.
You think that he wants well, Parnell wants a 25% stake. I guess that wouldn't be control. Well, he wants to participate in it so that we are partners in the oil or the gas processing, but not control.
Socialism is being spearheaded in this country by the unions. They are on the front lines of advancing socialism into our culture. And Bill Walker is as pro-union as there. You put Bill Wielkowski and Bill Walker down, and you sit them down and you say, we're going to debate about unions and their roles, they're not going to disagree on anything. So just as I would say Bill Wielkowski is a socialist, I would say Bill Walker is, because of his stance mainly on unions.
Now, see, here's why it's so important for you to walk us through why you say things. Because we have no idea what you're talking about.
Wow.
If you call...
Okay, hold on a minute. We're 10 minutes into the show. Bonnie says I'm a bully. Glenn says people have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, if you call Bill Walker a communist, now you've rephrased it to socialist.
You know what?
But
You
then
know
you
what you
explain
mean.
why. But that explanation is it's perfect. It makes perfect sense.
Here's how anal I can be. I may now. This is the greatest weekend of college football all year.
Really?
I may sit at home and watch every broadcast we've done, and I guarantee you I've not called Bill Walker communist more than maybe twice, and it will be blatantly obvious I'm joking when I do.
You are so stubborn too.
Wow.
Stubborn.
Could somebody make a list of the insults that I've been thrown at?
Oh, Dan. That's
Stubborn,
okay.
bully, people don't know what I'm saying.
You're in the hot seat today.
Mm-hmm.
Holy
You started it out with your theme song.
Play my theme song. Cue it up. Let's make fun of my physical appearance too.
No, come on.
I don't look
Man,
good
with friends like you, who needs enemies?
anymore.
Aw, no.
That's what
We'll
family's
save this for
for
Monday. Let's do this again on Monday.
In fact, let's do this every day, other than Friday.
Unbelievable.
Man.
All right,
Well, you just called me not funny, so.
well, but you know you're not funny.
Oh.
Let's cue this Dan Kendall clip. Do we have time for it? Do we have time for it, Brian? Okay. This is Dan Kendall on the show yesterday, and basically he's admitting. I mean, he just really. There's no disputing. He's saying he doesn't agree with Walker on anything. I'm asking him. I say, you're going to vote for a guy who you don't agree on anything. Well, he's my friend. I just don't understand that. I don't understand how. And I have liberal friends and I have leftist friends, and I would never vote for them. And they know that because it will try to, especially for a position like governor. I mean, look, if Parnell gets elected, we're going to go in this direction. If Walker gets elected, we're going to go in a completely different direction as a state.
Time is ticking.
And to say he's my friend, if we don't have time, we can hold it off.
If we started now, we're
all right. Play National Guard. Is there anything that makes you prefer Walker over Parnell?
Well, let's see. I've known Bill Walker since I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And
so you consider him a friend?
Yes, I've known him a long time.
If it were not for the National Guard scandal, would you still prefer Walker over Parnell?
Yes.
Are you just kind of using the National Guard thing as an excuse?
No. Let's stick with the National Guard here for a minute, because if I use it as an excuse to beat up the governor, or whatever it is, because I'm a Walker guy, that takes away from the men and women of the National Guard and the important issues there. That is a very
but
serious
you're going to vote for Walker regardless.
issue. Does it matter?
Yeah, I think it's important. I think it's important to know where you're coming from, that you had made up your mind prior to the National Guard thing.
No, well.
How did you vote on Prop 1?
Prop 1, I voted no.
You voted no. Now, why would you vote for Bill Walker when he clearly favors Prop 1? And Walker was a yes on one guy. You know that.
I know that. Yeah.
So why would you?
I disagreed with him on that.
Okay, so what do you agree with him on?
I agree with him on we need to get the gas line built.
How is Walker's proposal better than Parnell's?
He wants it done 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
We couldn't have had a gas line 20 or 30 years ago, right? Do you agree with that?
Why not?
Because we needed the gas to re-inject into the ground.
That's part of it.
Okay.
I don't know the details of either proposal, but I do know that.
But you make it sound like Bill Walker's going to get his gas line, Parnell won't. But yet you don't know the details of either of their proposals, and you don't know how Walker's going to get his gas line, I'm a little confused, Dan. I'm not confused. I mean, you're a conservative Republican.
Yes.
And yet you're supporting Bill Walker, who is as pro-union as anybody. Ethan Berkowitz, Les Guerra, and Dan and Bill Walker disagree on nothing when it comes to unions. Nothing. He is an anti-oil, yes on Prop 1 populist. You post Prop 1. It seems to me you're just voting for the guy because he's your buddy.
Isn't friendship a good thing?
But you're going to put aside your beliefs and your values and support a guy who's going to be the governor of Alaska, even though his views are completely different than yours?
You know, we don't particularly like what the unions are presenting and discussing at the moment. You know, they're really trying to run the country. But we don't get our army and go shoot them. We negotiate with them. We talk in the political forum. We get people to vote our way. It's a public discussion on how we make things happen.
I'm not calling for the death of Bill Walker. I just don't understand how you can support a guy who has completely different views as you do.
Well, let's talk about Proposition 1. I was never a fan of ACE, ever. I hated it from the very day it came out.
Walker loves it.
You know, and you don't get the perfect candidate. You don't get the perfect solution to all the problems.
Dan.
And so you have to work with the people that are there.
We would have never fixed ACEs with Governor Bill Walker.
How do you know that?
Because he loves ACEs.
How do you know that?
Because he told me personally, looking at me eye to eye, face to face. The guy loathes the oil industry. He thinks we should tax them into oblivion. If it wasn't for Sean Parnell, ACEs would still be on the books. And you're supporting a guy who wants to go to war with the oil industry because he's your friend.
Yeah, that's enough for me.
Can't you be his buddy without voting for him for governor because he disagrees with you on everything?
That's America.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Weekday mornings from
by saying that to his knowledge, everyone within his office acted in good faith. Documents from the Nuremberg trials have been auctioned off for $9,000. The documents were found in an old trunk in the Anchorage home of the stenographer Maxine Carr when her estate was being cleaned out. The winning bidder was a resident of Dallas who said she'll show the collection to war survivors and museums. Now that many permanent fund checks have been distributed and more people have money in their pockets, Alaska Airlines has dropped fares as an incentive for people to spend that money on a trip. Anchorage to Seattle is $378 round trip, while Anchorage to LA is $373. That's your Hot Talk News Update.
Cloudy skies for this afternoon, high 43. Tonight, cloudy, low 32. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. You'll see a bit of snow with little to no accumulation, high 42. Saturday night, cloudy, low 29. Mostly cloudy on Sunday, high 40. Monday, sunny and chilly, high 38. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
The traffic jam. A stifling halt to your thrilling drive. But in a redesigned 2015 Mercedes-Benz C-Class, that interruption is at least tolerable. With the most luxurious interior in its class and an innovative touchpad, the all-new 2015 C-Class is as exciting to experience standing still as it is in motion. And with its improved acceleration power, your state of comfort continues, knowing you'll make it to your destination on time. See your authorized dealer and see the world differently in a C-Class from Mercedes-Benz. Get the 2015 C300 4MATIC starting at just $40,400. Test drive one today.
MSRP for a 2015 C300 4MATIC excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details.
Mercedes-Benz of Anchorage. The best or nothing.
It's said that character is what you do when no one is watching. If that's the case, then Senator Kathy Giesel has the sort of character that is needed in Juneau. Away from the photo ops or flashy media events, Kathy Giesel hits the books just like she did in nursing school. For the past 4 years, Senator Giesel has worked hard for you, studying the impact of greater access to immunizations for Alaska's kids, crafting legislation that frees up business owners to expand and hire more Alaskans, and working to improve the infrastructure like roads and schools. Not just for this generation, but for generations of Alaskans to come. This election is more than just about promises or bullet points. It's about sending the right person to Juneau with the character to act on behalf of us when we can't watch. We need someone with the character to do the hard work when no one is watching, to make decisions we can trust. We need to re-elect Senator Kathy Giesel.
Paid for by re-elect Senator Kathy Giesel for Senate. 12701 Ridgewood Road, Anchorage, Alaska, 99516.
Hi, my name is Mike Ferris, President of Alaska Enterprise Solutions. We are the face of Xerox in Alaska. Xerox is a trendsetter, and AES Xerox is following in those footsteps. We are the document management experts, specializing in short-term rentals of copiers and scanners. We have offices in Anchorage and Fairbanks, and we are your Xerox professional agency with an Alaska focus and worldwide support. You can reach us at aesalaska.com or 561-5100.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist with Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209. Here's my good friend, Keith Montronac.
Automotive repairs can be frustrating. Let me help. Call 349-1637. I have been in business for nearly 20 years at the same location. Specialty Truck and Auto is in South Anchorage behind the Long Branch Saloon where Diamond becomes Abbott. I have 6 ASE certified technicians working from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. I have a voucher for any of the 6 Alaska Laser Wash locations for each customer. If you schedule ahead and need a ride when you drop your vehicle off, I may be able to help. Call Specialty Truck and Auto, 349-1637.
When I grew up, I wanted to be a pro basketball player, an elementary school teacher, an Olympic gymnast.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream. For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080 KOAN.
569-1080, 6:35 in the morning. Tara Clift is coming up. You know who she is, Glenn?
It seems like she's running for Senate, but...
Oh, she's,
right?
She's the Libertarian?
Yeah, what's she running for, though?
Or something? Yes, Senate.
Senate? She's running against Sullivan and, well, I thought Mark Fisher's running.
Oh.
I'm just running for governor.
Oh.
Okay, there you go.
Libertarian candidate.
Paying attention, yeah. That was my test for the morning. I failed. Hey.
I knew her name, though. I recognized it.
Yeah.
So you went to the Right to Life dinner last night?
Yes.
569-1080, by the way, is our number. And what? Tell me about it. What?
Well, it's it's a smaller group than it's been in the past, but still a group of believers, and I think they're doing the right thing. And it sounds like they have some good ideas, good plans for what to do in the upcoming legislative session. I'm hopeful they're going to be successful. It's a little strange because their rhetoric, they essentially have said, look, we're not going to work with anybody we're not going to endorse anybody. We're not going to support anybody who doesn't agree with us 100% of the time. And then they went on with their legislative set of goals, and they were going to work with everybody who agreed with them any percent of the time. That's what they would. So it was odd because the rhetoric didn't match. I mean, I think their goals are very good, but the rhetoric didn't match, what they were saying. Anyway, I'm very pro-life. I believe that children are so special, and that we really are set out in this world. We're set apart, and we deserve more consideration than what's being given a lot of children. A lot of children are not brought into the world because they're inconvenient, or people will think they're inconvenient. Most people find out that they're not. They're so special that they overwhelm all the limitations that they add into your life, that they add way more joy into your life than that. So anyway, but I went. I was glad I went. Met Rod Perry, who was in the first Iditarod, and he was one of the most fun people to listen to I think I've ever listened to. He explained how they ran the first race.
He was the speaker?
No, he was just at our table, and I don't know. The guy from 40 Days for Life he was the speaker for it.
469 or what is it?
569.
569 1080. 569 1080. Let's go to Jim. Jim, you're on. Hello, Jim.
This is Todd.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Todd. You're on.
Okay. Well, I wanted to call yesterday because I'm pretty familiar with the National Guard sexual abuse story.
Okay.
One of the chaplains is a very close friend of mine, and he asked me to pray a long time ago for him and for courage and for the situation. And it sounded like you guys lacked some information yesterday. So,
well, fill us in where we're lacking in information.
Well, I just want to say that it was much more than one or two people who were abused. So there was a culture of abuse happening.
And when you say abuse, could you be more specific?
Yeah, sexual abuse.
Is this a sexual assault?
Sexual assault.
Yes.
Okay.
Assault, abuse, a variety of things.
And these are female members of the Guard?
Yes. And so and the chaplains don't want this story to be about them at all, which is why you would never get them on the radio as a whistleblower.
Right.
And which is also disturbing that the whistleblower that was on was really not a very qualified person for that. So
right.
I'm not sure where that person came from.
Yeah.
Or whether or not they just presented themselves as a whistleblower.
Right.
But anyway.
Well, let me ask you this, Jim or Todd. Where did the governor go wrong, in your opinion, based on what you know?
Well, what I can tell you, what my chaplain friend told me where he thinks the governor went wrong, is that the governor passed it on to a staffer.
Who was the staffer?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to speak in real general terms here, Dan.
Okay.
I'm not going to let you bully me into giving you information.
Aha! Cha-cha!
That's right.
And for whatever reason, that staffer sat on the story.
But they didn't believe the whistleblower. Why didn't they believe the chaplains, though? Because they thought, my guess is because they thought that the chaplains had listened to the whistleblower, which they didn't believe, and then the poison well spreads, the fruit of the poison.
I can't answer all those questions, but I am going to tie it into the Dan Kendall interview. My chaplain friend, even though he has subsequently met with Sean Parnell, he met with him a couple of times, and he feels a little better about Governor Parnell's role in the whole process. He will not vote for him.
Wow, because of this and this alone.
That's right, and he's a really conservative guy.
Wow.
And
is he going to vote for Parnell, or is he going to abstain?
Well, I don't know, because I was talking to him, and I understood his difficulty with this, and I didn't want him to cancel my vote by voting for Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we're very close friends. We pray together. We pray for each other.
Yeah.
But just because he's my friend doesn't mean I'm not going to vote for Parnell.
Right.
And just because he's my friend doesn't mean he's voting for Parnell.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Based on what your friend told you, do you think your friend is justifiable in not voting for Parnell?
I think my friend is a lot closer to the situation and knows a lot more about the story than I do. I think that he believes that Parnell was not doing anything nefarious.
Yes.
However, I think the fact that he was slow to act.
Yes. Pass the buck or slow to act?
He gave it to a staffer. The staffer sat on it. They approached him again. It's just very slow to act.
Has the staffer been disciplined? Do you know?
I don't know.
You know who the staffer is, but you won't say?
No, I don't.
Okay.
So the other thing, real quick, was that I was really hoping you guys would ask Governor Parnell about this when you interviewed him.
Okay. Well, we're going to have him on again. But what's the question?
And I just think there's a lot of unanswered questions about the situation, and I think if this is a negative on his campaign right now, it would really be in his best interest to address his role in the whole process.
He has a press conference today at 11 a.m., I believe, addressing this. Are you aware of that?
No.
Yeah, after that article came out yesterday, I don't remember if Amanda told me that or where I got that, but he is going to have a press conference this morning to deal with this subject. So it apparently is getting the heat's hitting the office pretty hard.
This is where the heat's coming from.
Yeah.
Because this really could change people's votes. I mean, if he was so trusting of Katkus, big mistake. That is one of the hardest things for somebody who does trust people, as you know Parnell does.
Very trusting, yeah.
And that here Katkus gets into this position of authority, and knows how to make things look like, oh no, we are doing everything, we're doing it all by the book. I know what the book says. I wrote the book, and we're doing it by the book. How you could fool somebody like Parnell, I don't know. He does have a lot of things to answer for.
Yeah, and there was a lot of internal pressure for these chaplains not to tell the story.
And And this is what
inside the guard, yeah.
McHugh Pierre McHugh Pierre asked him to sign a confidentiality on this, didn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got to take a break, but thank you, Todd.
All right, yeah.
Appreciate your call. 644.
Now you can get friends and neighbors pricing automatically on these beautiful new 2014s. That's the official pricing set by Ford.
And you can use your PFD today. Look, here's a Ford Excursion, just $12,900. And here's a Lincoln Navigator, just $12,900.
Or how about a Mazda 3 for $69.50? Or a Ford Focus for just $49.50. And remember, you can use your PFD today. And if you're looking for a new Ford, friends and neighbors pricing could save you a lot.
This is your chance to automatically qualify for Ford's friends and neighbors pricing, so don't miss it.
Plus, if you've got a trade-in, we need it. Push, pull, or drag it in, and we'll give you top dollar.
Everyone qualifies for this special offer, so hurry on in to Giant Worthington Ford on Gamble.
Stockholm, 03 Focus, 1435378. 04 Excursion, 209528. 07 Navigator, 1439708. 05 Mazda 3, 1435388. Friends and neighbors pricing excludes Raptor MKC and Fleet Deals. On approved credit, subject to prior sale, see dealer for details. Ends 10/2/2014.
It's getting to the end of the season for fresh silvers, and if you haven't filled your freezer for the winter, this is definitely the weekend to do it. Right now, at New Sagayan City Market, you can buy the whole silver salmon for just $4.99 a pound. Whole fish, we'll clean them, and you can put them in the freezer, $4.99 a pound. New Sagayan City Market. Oh, it's so popular. We're featuring fresh Hawaiian-style poke again this week. The great marinated fish with spices and onions and stuff, and the great big favorite in Anchorage as well as in the islands. Fresh Hawaiian poke, just $9.99 a pound. Of course, you'll find it at New Sagayan City Market. Family loves pork chops? Well, New Sagayan City Market have the economical way to buy them. Get the big family pack of fresh pork chops, just $3.49 a pound. And if a family pack is too big for dinner tonight, take out what you need and freeze the rest. Low price, $3.49 a pound, fresh pork chops, New Sagayan City Market. The apples are as sweet as honey and as crisp as a November morning. So they're called Honey Crisp apples. Great flavor, great eating, $1.89 a pound. New Sagayan, Midtown City Market, 13th and I.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
647. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. This is it's a tough issue. And by the way, I was wrong about the press conference. It was yesterday morning, not today. I said Parnell would be holding a press conference this morning. I must have read that the day before, thinking it was this morning. But look, there's a couple of things we know about Parnell. I don't think he's a dishonest man. I don't think he is a disingenuous guy. I don't think he tries to deceive people. He doesn't like to brag. He's very low key. But I think that there are some times in his tenure you could say there's been a lack of backbone. And there are three main examples that actually four. One would be the crime lab. The developers who wanted to build the crime lab for $120 million when the most expensive crime lab in the country didn't even come close to that. The only crime lab that ever cost that much was the FBI crime lab in Quantico, Virginia, which serves the entire nation.
Right.
L.A. built a new crime lab. It cost them $18 million. Yeah. So we're spending $120. Clearly, he didn't stand up to the developers or the lawmakers who wanted that. When it came to the Nancy Dahlstrom hiring illegally, it was illegal. Everybody knew it. No disputing it. He didn't stand up to her on that. Gene Theriot, same thing. And then when he let Sarah Palin, once she quit and he stuck by ACES during the remainder of her term, not wanting to make waves, I thought that was a huge. It cost us a year and a half.
Yeah,
and look, we missed out on the boom because of ACES. The boom that North Dakota and everybody else experienced, we missed it because of ACES. Now he fixed it, so in the end he gets credit for that. But there have been times where he has been less than aggressive. I don't know if I would say, Glenn, that he doesn't have a backbone, more or less that he wants everything to kind of just go smoothly, doesn't want controversy, doesn't want to make waves. Is this fair? Or am I a little closer in my analysis here?
Yeah, I think it's very. I think that on Dahlstrom and Theriot, I'd be interested to find out who was sort of behind that, because I know that he has some very highly placed people in his administration. I think he trusts people. He hands responsibility to them.
That's a better way of saying it.
And to a fault. And
yes.
that's the difficult part here is this is the National Guard, all right? Yeah. It's very rare where the governor has to get into a legal process for their National Guard. It's not a common thing.
Yeah.
So, and that was the difficulty. Parnell thought he was doing what he should do, that he started an investigation. He started several investigations, a couple of in 2011, several in 2012, more in 2013, and then asked for a federal investigation in 2014. As far as he's concerned, he's trying to take care of this. The problem was the ones before 2014 were all done within the Guard, because to him, Katka's seemed reasonable.
Your analysis is so much superior to what I just said. He's too trusting.
Yeah.
He's too trusting. And that could be a major detriment. Does that mean that I'm going to not vote for him? I still like his vision for the state. I believe his record is stellar with the gas pipeline. I believe deep in the very inner chambers of his heart, he is very burdened by the sexual assault problem in this state. I believe it's a big part of his heart. I don't think for a second when Shannon Moore wrote that column about him, insinuated he just didn't care. Yeah. I don't think that is true for a second. He's got 2 daughters. He's a man who does not like the fact that there's so much domestic violence in our state, domestic abuse and violence for targeting women in our state. So I think that's irresponsible. But yeah, I think you're right, Glenn. And
well, here's how I think he walks this back. First of all, when you've done wrong, you make it right. And he's working on that now, right? He got this federal investigation. It finally turned over some things. He started to fire people. He needs to go whole hog. I don't want there to be any more problems in our National Guard. I want all the problems to be taken care of, and I want people to be safe. I know he wants that too. That means he takes this on. This is priority number one for him, and it should have. And I think it has been. This is my view. I believe that it has been since the report came out. This became priority number one. He needs to let people know, and he's starting to do that. I saw the piece in the paper probably yesterday. Yeah, Parnell defends handling of Alaska National Guard dysfunction, plans more firings. He is starting to wrap his arms around this, and it's very important that he makes good on this. That he doesn't just let it go.
4 years ago, it does look bad that it was 4 years ago, and just now, because it's an election year, he's making people resign.
Well, I think it was because Fred Dyson. I don't think it had anything to do with election year. I think if Fred Dyson had come to him next January and said, Governor Parnell, I'm overriding your natural tendency to trust. I'm telling you right now, as Fred Dyson, Senator Fred Dyson, you must do something here. You cannot wait. You are not allowed to wait on this. I do not want to see you wait. He pushed him, and it took somebody who was close to the governor.
Don't you think it shows a lack of judgment on Sean Parnell's part, though?
I
mean,
I've been on this story myself for a couple years.
Right.
I have mentioned it several times on air that I told ladies, do not go to the opening ceremony parties. You will probably get raped if you go to the opening ceremony parties at the National Guard. Don't go. It's not safe for you. I've been saying that on air for a long time based on the information that I got a couple years ago. I don't know. There is a problem here with Parnell, and all we can do in life is when we make mistakes, when our character flaws, they may seem like character benefits at the time, to trust people, to hand off authority to them.
And delegation. I mean, that's part of being a governor.
But he also investigated. The problem was the investigations were always led by the person, the prime perpetrator for this, and hopefully he burns for this.
You talking about Cactus?
Yeah, hopefully.
Not that he was involved in the sexual assaults.
Well, that he was involved in the covering up.
Yeah.
He was directing, many of the people who were involved in the problems on the National Guard base. He was the cause of this culture, of this corrupt culture that was there.
569-1080, Jim.
Yeah. Good morning.
Morning.
I'm changing the subject just a little bit, quite a bit, I guess. This country has been run by a dictator president for about 6 years now, and a Congress that won't hold him accountable. And I've heard another talk show host talk about Article 5 of the Constitution as a possible way to go ahead and change what the Congress hasn't been willing to do, such as keep our borders protected and closed and funded. And Article 5 supposedly it takes the approval of 3/4 of the states to hold a type of
Jim,
convention.
it's going to be way too late. We got to hold Begich accountable. The real problem here is Mark Begich. He hasn't done a thing. If Mark Begich came out tomorrow on the news and said, if my president thinks that he's going to, by executive order, pass some amnesty legislation a week after, I promise you that I will be there to impeach him. You know what Barack Obama would do? He wouldn't think 5 seconds of passing amnesty through executive order. Mark Begich is the cause of this. Mark Begich and his politicizing everything in this country, including our borders. We can't wait for an Article 5. That's my point. My point is your solution is not a solution because it will be way too late.
Even that talk show host, I think it's probably Mark Levin.
Yes.
He even says this will take a lot of time, right?
Well, he does, but I would say that if things don't go the way you want them to go with the Senate, we're still going to be stuck for 2 more years. So maybe we ought to be doing something, getting our ducks in a row so that we can do something.
Who do you vote for Senate, Jim?
Wait a minute. He says this is not a constitutional convention.
Right.
And what I was hoping next time you have Fred Dyson on, you've had him on a couple times, would you ask him if our state legislature is going in the direction
I thought they'd already voted to do that.
Who are you voting for in the Senate race, Jim?
I would tell Dan that I haven't made my mind up just to spare him this nice Friday. But to tell you the truth, I'm not sure that I'm going to vote for Dan Sullivan or Mark Begich. How's that?
What would change your mind? What would it take?
If Dan Sullivan was to be speaking up, even on your program and answering questions that maybe...
He said he was against amnesty, don't you think that?
If he would answer questions that maybe Bonnie would pose or be grilled by either one of you guys, I might have a little more thought towards him. But, you know, I do hate to see Mark Begich get back in, but I'm also not going to be supporting what I think is the status quo again.
And, you know, that is...
status quo. Here's my question to you. How do you know he's the status quo? He sounds to me like the most conservative politician who would ever come out of the United States of America, or out of the state of Alaska. I guess I don't understand. Where are you getting this?
My gut.
But his words, okay, his record, his words, his record.
Paid for.
Why are his words and his record not more important than your gut?
Hey, Jim, you're a quitter.
Yeah. Okay.
You
All right.
quit on your country.
Yeah, that's right.
Scott Jan.
Just hearing the word pizza brings a smile to almost everyone's face. And Sicily's Pizza wants to make you smile 5 times as big with their National Pizza Month Special. Get as many as 5 medium 2-topping pizzas for only $9.99 each. Whatever style you like. For fast delivery, call 333-8000 and order the Sicily's National Pizza Month Special. 333-8000 or order online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza. 333-8000.
You're listening to Hot Talk, KOAN, Anchorage, AM 1080, and retranslated on 95.1 FM on K236CG, Anchorage.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. The last time unemployment was this low, Barack Obama was running for president 6 years ago. Amid better-than-expected hiring last month, Fox News Radio's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the Labor Department says 248,000 jobs were added to non-farm payrolls in September, beating Wall Street expectations. The unemployment rate fell to 5.9%. Economist Steve Beeman says the labor participation rate did decline as fewer Americans looked for work.
The percent of available workforce that's actually working, and that dropped by about 0.1%.
Numbers for July and August were revised upward, showing that employers added a combined 69,000 more jobs than previously estimated. Dave.
Now, Rachel, on Wall Street, a rally. The Dow's up 123 points. Another American infected by Ebola in Africa. A freelance cameraman who was working for NBC News.
He's receiving the best care possible that they can offer him at Doctors Without Borders in Monrovia.
Diane Mukpo tells NBC's Today Show her son, Ashaka, will be flown to the U.S. for treatment Sunday. The family of the African man stricken with Ebola in Dallas ordered not to go anywhere under armed guard. Fox News Radio's Evan Brown on this live.
Dave, the family continues to be kept in their home under legal order not to leave as their health is monitored by CDC and Dallas County officials as they also try to track down as many as 100 people who may have been in contact with the patient, but the list of who's exposed will be smaller.
Really potential or possible contacts. And so that list will be taken and we'll look for high risk and low risk, and then you'll have your final contact tracing list.
CDC spokesman David Daigle, that list is due to be completed today, Dave.
Evan, they're cleaning up storm damage in Dallas from a system that knocked out power to more than 200,000 homes and businesses from Louisiana to Alabama.
When I ran out of the room, I was yelling, help, somebody help me, I'm bleeding.
She and another person were hurt by broken glass when a dorm roof was torn off at Arlington Baptist College. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Good communication is key to business, especially when you need to work with people who aren't in the same office. So how do millions of business professionals connect with remote clients and colleagues? By using Citrix GoToMeeting, the proven solution for meeting and collaborating online. And now, for a limited time only, when you sign up for GoToMeeting by October 10th, you'll get another Citrix product of your choice free for 6 months. Visit GoToMeeting.com and get started, but don't wait. This special offer ends October 10th. So visit GoToMeeting.com today.
Do you owe the IRS over $10,000 in back taxes? Have unfiled returns or under audit? Do you owe payroll taxes? Are your wages being garnished or your bank account levied? The IRS continues to ramp up their collection efforts. Tax Defense Partners can help. Tax Defense Partners will completely handle your case for you and deal with the IRS on your behalf, and can negotiate a settlement of up to 85% off the original amount owed, including penalties and interest if you qualify. Call Tax Defense Partners now at 866-TAX-DEFENSE. That's 866-829-3333 or taxdefensepartners.com.
Well, howdy, I'm Nick Worthington, Ford Giant, Worthington Ford. And folks, we're having a huge sale.
Right now, you can get friends and neighbors pricing automatically on these beautiful new 2014s. That's the official pricing set by Ford.
And you can use your PFD today. Look, here's a Ford Excursion, just $12,900. And here's a Lincoln Navigator, just $12,900.
Or how about a Mazda 3 for $69.50? Or a Ford Focus for just $49.50. And remember, you can use your PFD today. And if you're looking for a new Ford, friends and neighbors pricing could save you a lot.
This is your chance to automatically qualify for Ford's friends and neighbors pricing, so don't miss it.
Plus, if you've got a trade-in, we need it. Push, pull, or drag it in, and we'll give you top dollar.
Everyone qualifies for this special offer, so hurry on in to Giant Worthington Ford on Gamble.
Stock number 03 Focus 1435378. 04 Excursion Q09528. 07 Navigator 1439708. 05 Mazda 3 1435388. Friends and neighbors pricing excludes Raptor, MKC, and Fleet Deals. On approved credit, subject to prior sale. See dealer for details. Ends 10/2/2014.
Relive the magic from your favorite Disney classics on Saturday, October 11th at the Atwood Concert Hall with your Anchorage Symphony Orchestra and 4 fabulous singers. Disney in Concert, Tale as Old as Time, features music and movie clips from Frozen, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, The Lion King, and many more. Kids sit anywhere for only $25. For tickets, call 263-ARTS or go to centertix.net today.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything, from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist with Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call. On the Talk of the Valley, KVNT.
Welcome, Friday afternoon, Friday morning, October 3rd, January 3rd. I don't know what day it is. I know it's going to snow tomorrow. That's what they say. 7:06 in the a.m., Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. I had an epiphany during the commercial break. I'd like to share it now, if I may.
Go ahead. Love to
Lay
hear
it
it.
on us. What is it?
You know, I know you guys absolutely hate it when I talk about the heart.
Oh, God.
No, that's Glenn. I don't mind it.
He hates it when I mention the heart. But
The truth is, I hope you don't talk about the heart.
I'm about to spend 3 hours on the heart. Look, I believe that the key to life is the condition of your heart. The
key to a good life?
The key to seeing truth is the condition of your heart. The key to forgive is the condition of your heart. The key to loving other people is the condition of your heart. The good news is we have the capability to regulate the condition of our heart. That's the good news.
Can always be changed.
It can be changed in a split second.
That's right.
When you started calling me a bully this morning, my heart started to harden. I was getting pretty pissed off.
Yeah, I could tell. You're getting all red.
And then you started talking about how that these clown town idiots with pea brains are going to vote for Dan Sullivan because they want to give up on their country, and you say I'm not supposed to say they're quitters. And my heart's saying, but they are quitters. And that's true. And so my heart's getting harder and harder. And I'm getting angrier and angrier.
But
and then with this guy, whatever his face is, Jim, comes in, well, I decided if I'm going to vote for Dan Sullivan, my gut tells me, quitter! That's what my heart's saying. Quitter! How dare you quit on this country? Look at what the founding fathers went through to save this country, to get it where it is today. Look at what all the men and women in uniform have done through all the wars, World War I, World War II, the greatest generation. All these people that have sacrificed for this country. And you don't like Dan Sullivan's stance on amnesty. You don't like the quitter.
He didn't even talk about stances. He said talk about his gut.
Quitter. Now that's what my heart says. Look at Bonnie. She doesn't realize I'm about to go her way.
Oh.
And I realize that it's about me and my pride.
I think I heard that in my household just a couple weeks ago.
Whenever anybody's confessing, it's usually best to rub their nose in it after the confession is complete.
Please,
okay.
Please resume.
Would you please allow me to finish my confession before you rub my nose in it? Thank you. But it angers me because I just can't even begin to comprehend how any reasonable person would look at a Mark Begich and a Dan Sullivan and say, nah, I can't even begin. I can't even begin to see that. And the only thing my mind can go to is quitter. You idiot, quitter. And my heart hardens and my anger gets up. And, if I was armed, I probably would have shot that caller, whoever he was.
Shot the phone he was on.
I would have. And it just gets me so fired up because I know if this thing is close and if Mark Begich wins and the Senate remains under the control of the Democrats because of free market, constitutional republic, Tea Party folks, because they sat out. I don't mind Bill Wielechowski taking us in the direction of tyranny. That's where his worldview believes we should go. But constitutional conservatives who understand the importance of the free market, who understand freedom and the power of it, to give up on the country, I can't even deal with it, Bonnie.
They're two totally different worldviews. You're right. Dan Sullivan and Mark Begich have two totally different worldviews. And for people who are not at least willing to give Dan Sullivan a try and let him prove himself, I do get very frustrated with. But I do believe that they're honest, good people who are filled with wisdom.
Oh, no.
No,
I'm not
I do.
Gonna give you that.
No, they do. I really respect a lot of these people who are saying that. But I do think we should give him at least a chance. So,
Brian, we have somebody at the door. I think it's our next guest. Well, the thing is, what you said to me earlier is that I'm not going to change anybody's minds by calling them quitters and pea brains and all that.
Name calling is what leftists do.
I understand that. And you're right about that. But please understand my frustration, because I look at these decisions and it's just, really?
Well, here's what didn't make any sense. Jim said, well, my gut tells me.
Well,
Really, the Club for Growth has sponsored the most conservative candidates in the country, and the Club for Growth is behind Dan Sullivan. So here's the difficulty I have. This is why I keep going back to pride. The words of Dan Sullivan and his history, our experience with Dan Sullivan, are not as important as Jim's gut. That is pride. There's no other way to say it. That here the way he feels about things is so much more important than what is before our eyes. Jim, that's ridiculous. Don't you see that? Don't you see how ridiculous that sounds? That your gut, what we should do is run our country based on what your gut tells us, rather than our experience, rather than the words that he uses, rather than the people who support him like the Club for Growth. Come on, Jim. You are giving up. If you don't vote for Dan Sullivan, you've given up, and that is sad, and I feel bad for you, and I feel bad for this country, because people who founded this country, they were a lot stronger than you, and they didn't agree on everything. And you know what they did? Rather than give up and say, you're right, we don't agree on everything, let's just cancel this thing. Let's work together. They figured out what they did agree on, they worked on it, and they moved forward.
Put aside their pride. Like adults. They put aside their pride.
They knew that they had something greater to gain. You don't think there's anything greater to gain? Look, there are a lot of people who through the year 2000 and Y2K and the end of the world and all these people who've been prophesying that this world is coming to an end. I saw the signs. And there are a lot of people who just want to give up on it. They don't want to be wrong anymore. They're tired of waiting for the end of the world to come about. And this is one of the things which is going to bring about the end of the world. And I'll feel a lot better when the end of the world is here. You know what happens at the end of the world? A lot of people die. There's a lot of suffering. And you're going to be responsible for that, Jim.
Fatalistic.
You know what struck me the other day was when Fred Dyson was here, and somebody asked him what he would have done differently. Because he's retiring.
Regarding what?
Through his years in the Senate.
Yeah.
And he said, I wish I would have worked more with the other side of the aisle. That really struck me, that at the end of his career, he's saying that there was some good ideas that they had, that because he was so staunchly conservative and thought he was right, and I might be putting some words into his mouth, but basically...
I don't think he's saying that he wish that he would have compromised his core values, but...
No.
Just would have been more open to suggestions.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that there was a partisanship that takes hold in Juneau.
Us against them.
And that was at the beginning.
And unfortunately, the partisanship is wrong sometimes.
And there are many Tea Party folks now, like Jim, who see the Republican Party as more of an enemy than the Democratic Party.
I'm going to congratulate Dick Cheney on something when we come back.
Oh, my goodness. 7:14, Glen Biegel money. 7:14, Glen Biegel money.
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
You know, it's getting to the end of the season for fresh silvers, and if you haven't filled your freezer for the winter, this is definitely the weekend to do it. Right now, at New Sagayan City Market, you can buy the whole silver salmon for just $4.99 a pound. Whole fish, we'll clean them and you can put them in the freezer, $4.99 a pound. New Sagayan City Market. Oh, it's so popular. We're featuring fresh Hawaiian-style poke again this week. The great marinated fish with spices and onions and stuff, and the great big favorite in Anchorage as well as in the islands. Fresh Hawaiian poke, just $9.99 a pound. Of course, you'll find it at New Sagayan City Market. Family loves pork chops? Well, New Sagayan City Market have the economical way to buy them. Get the big family pack of fresh pork chops, just $3.49 a pound. And if a family pack is too big for dinner tonight, take out what you need and freeze the rest. Low price, $3.49 a pound, fresh pork chops, New Sagayan City Market. The apples are as sweet as honey and as crisp as a November morning. So they're called Honey Crisp apples. Great flavor, great eating, $1.89 a pound. New Sagayan, Midtown City Market, 13th and I.
In Washington, Mark Begich has voted with Barack Obama 97% of the time, adding trillions to the national debt, casting the deciding vote for Obamacare, and protecting Obama's executive amnesty for illegal immigrants. Alaska needs a senator who will fight back against Obama's agenda. As our Attorney General, Dan Sullivan sued to stop Obamacare and defended our Second Amendment rights. As Alaska's DNR Commissioner, Sullivan stood down Obama's EPA, unleashed new energy production, and created Alaskan jobs. Now Sullivan is running for the U.S. Senate to stop the Washington big spenders from bankrupting America. Sullivan will cut wasteful spending and support a balanced budget amendment. And Dan Sullivan is pro-life. He'll protect life while fighting to repeal Obamacare. Dan Sullivan, strong leadership for Alaska.
I'm Dan Sullivan. I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Sullivan for U.S. Senate.
Hot Talk KO. Fagan and Biegel. Weekday mornings from
7:17 on a Friday morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Snow's in the forecast for tomorrow, so be prepared.
No, use the S word.
I know. Well, you know, if you're in pain of any kind of physical pain, go see the folks at Chugach Chiropractic. Dr. Myron Swigert and his team, Dr. Madden, they're great at identifying problems that you might not find if you go, see a medical doctor or traditional doctors, as they call them. The chiropractic, Chugach Chiropractic, they're very, very creative in diagnosing conditions that will literally change your life and cause you to live pain-free. I'm telling you, my right leg, I'm 54 years old. I found out just a couple of weeks ago my right leg is shorter than my left leg. And I feel the difference. They gave me over at Chugach Chiropractic a lift, and now my legs are even, and I'm walking with more balance. I always used to stand with my right heel just up a little bit off the ground. I didn't know why. Well, it's because that leg was shorter. But these are the kind of things that they can discover. Glenn went there. He lost 45 pounds, and they're just great. Buddy, we need you to get in there and go see Dr. Schweigert over
I should go do that.
Chiropractic. Maybe he can straighten out some things mentally for you. Chugach Chiropractic.
I was actually serious.
Chugach Chiropractic, 694-9224. 694-9224. Go see them. That's their number.
Brian got that a lot quicker than I did, by the way. I was like, what are you laughing about?
We're going to be speaking with Carolyn Care Clift. She goes by Care.
Claire?
Well, her name is Carolyn Care, C-A-R-E, Clift, but she goes by Care.
Okay.
And her last name's Clift. She's running for governor on the Libertarian ticket, National Libertarian Party. And so she'll be with us here. She's in studio now. We're going to get her on the show here in a couple minutes and take calls for her, obviously, 569-1080. I got to I just love this. So you've had some of your crazy, nutty Tea Party friends tell you that you should be careful of me because the oil companies flew me up to Alaska.
They brought you back here.
They brought me back here.
To basically stump for Dan Sullivan and the big oil companies.
Really?
It wasn't me at all. I thought it was our friendship.
And they warned me. They said, be careful.
You came back up here to do a show.
What do they want you to be careful of? That I'll try to buy you and get you to be
I don't know. Oil? I said, well, I'll just go as long as it takes me. I mean, I don't care.
I didn't know Jeremy and Mike worked for the oil company.
Do you think they're right about that? Do you think I am a paid person of the oil companies?
No, I think it's all your own thoughts. Surprisingly.
You think I get a little cash under the table from these guys?
No, I do
They pick me up on their private jet on Fridays and fly me to Vegas for the weekend?
Well, now...
That'd be fun. Can we get them to do that?
I like to think that you have your own thoughts.
It's so funny. And it just seems to me that there's this element... And look, here's the thing. Nobody's got anything on me when it comes to conservative thoughts and ideas. I guarantee you, these crazy Tea Party people...
Stop saying that.
You line me up with them, I'm more conservative than every last one of them.
Well...
I'm going to get rid of the Department of Education. I'm going to get rid of half the federal government. You have no idea what I would do if I were president or governor or whatever. So, but there's this conspiracy theory bent to them. This 9/11 was an inside job. That, the oil companies are evil. Corporations. I'm hearing a lot of anti-corporation rhetoric from the far right, which is right out of the book of leftism. Corporations are really good, talented, educated people who are good at what they do, and they get together and they produce great value. And therefore, that brings great wealth to those who are involved in the corporations, whether it's the shareholders or the actual people employed by them. The Tea Party people think the corporations are as bad as the terrorists.
I disagree. That's not the Tea Party. That's not the Tea Party side.
What's your nutty friend?
I think it's more libertarian.
Yeah, I think it's libertarians.
Oh,
Kara Clift, I think, is coming in. She'll probably tell us about all these things.
Okay.
Yeah, please don't say the Tea Partiers, because I
Okay.
think the vast
Yeah, I'm a
majority of
Tea
Tea
Party.
Partiers are voting
I
for Dan
founded several
Sullivan.
Tea Party organizations. Well,
I mean, they probably
there when they were
voted for Joe Miller in the primary, but they'll vote for Dan Sullivan. I think that the Tea Partiers will.
But not
yes.
the Libertarians.
No. Yeah.
Because they're the conspiracy theory people.
Some of them. You know, I wouldn't even call that far right. That's a whole other platform.
Because socially they're neutral. Social issues.
Yes. And everything goes. Anything goes. And with that, there's anarchy. So I can't ever call myself a libertarian.
There is a video on the internet that I just saw last night, and it was Corla. What is her name?
Charlo Green.
Charlo Green.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Snoop Dogg.
He's coming.
Well, no, not yet.
We got to pass
Hopefully
marijuana.
But Snoop Dogg, by the way, I looked up his record because I was going to write a column on it. He's been charged. He was originally charged with murder, but they pled it down to manslaughter. He's got like 4 or 5 drug convictions. He was also charged with these Girls Gone Wild video. He was a part of that, and
the underage part.
There were underage girls that he was involved with, and he got charged with that too. So this guy's got a long history. So Charlo was on his podcast, and he's smoking a joint, and they're joking about it, all this, and she's dropping the F-bomb every third sentence. And then she lights up a bong, and they're literally just smoking and talking, and then there's like a couple of guys over at Charlo's apartment, and they're behind her, and they all start lighting up, and they're dropping F-bombs, and yet, while they're doing that, they're talking about how this is a righteous cause, and it's something we need to change, and
class acts.
It's for medicine.
Yeah, and you know, Snoop saying, man, I'm behind y'all. I'm going to come on up there and say, y'all pass this. I'm going to come on up, you know. And I think if people could see that video.
Yeah.
It'd be horrifying.
And knew
it's
who
not
Snoop,
all about the medicine.
Know who Snoop really was in his career.
Mm-hmm. It's just a sign of the times, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do we really want to be known like Washington and Colorado are? I mean,
but when you talk
really.
about libertarian, they're big pot. They think,
well, they're pro-freedom in everything.
Right.
And I believe that there are some moral absolutes.
Although most of them will back off when you talk about crack.
Oh, yeah.
Heroin.
I don't know.
You know.
Prostitution is another thing they think should just...
Prostitution is another one, and that's a real difficult part for them. There are so many difficult parts for libertarians. First of all, what would we have done in the Cold War? Oh, we would have let Russia take over 80% of the world. That's what we would have done in the Cold War. Well, that's not... See, this is why libertarians have a difficult time, because when the real world infringes upon their ideals, right, and what they live is in an ideal world. Well, in an ideal world, people who are in the sex trade are all over age. None of them are on drugs. None of them are being forced by a pimp to do things and having their money stolen from them. None of them are abused. None of the sexual acts are violent. All the women are all perfectly fine with whatever goes on in the reality of the way things go. And this is the part where libertarians have such difficulty, is when reality infringes. In reality, you have lots of underage people. You have lots of people who are enslaved. You have lots of people who are given heroin and kept on drugs and have violent acts done against them that they don't like. That's the reality. And that's hard for them. They don't have answers to these things. Libertarianism is an idea. It's not a reality. It's never been a reality.
Has there ever been a country run under libertarian philosophy?
Here's where they would go, because that is one of the hardest questions for people to actually wrap their minds around. You have to realize that the founding of the United States, we had no federal government at all.
Right.
The federal government minted money.
Yep.
That's all it did. It didn't do anything. Even the courts didn't apply to the states. Nothing. We didn't have any federal oversight of anything. Every single state, right, could go its own way.
Each colony.
State-based libertarianism, that's what it was. Now, you would ask yourself this, well, did we have libertarianism at any level, anywhere? No. Every part of our country was guided by the Bible. Every part. No part was left out of that. We were all taught, raised, judged. We all thought about the Bible all the time. That's how the country was founded. So the idea that libertarianism, which means, oh, well, heroin's no big deal, and we have prostitution and all these other things. No, local municipalities, local, whatever ran your local area, they didn't have libertarianism there. So, no, I don't think we've ever tried libertarianism.
The libertarian running for governor.
Well, I'm looking forward to finding out what.
Still in the building after hearing you?
Look, I struggle with this too.
Brian, don't let her leave. Lock the door.
I struggle with this too because I do believe that the Republicans, as they gained a lot of power in the early 90s, started telling states what they should do. I don't think that's right.
The other side of the coin.
It's the other side of the coin, yeah. And so I like state-based libertarian, where we have 50 experiments in democracy, or
And I think you and I would both say we would be willing to go with legalized drugs and some of the other things, not the life issue, if in exchange for the federal overreach going away. We would much prefer
if I didn't have to support somebody who was taking heroin. If it wasn't a,
yes.
What do they call it, a disease?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, I'm taking heroin. It's a disease.
Right.
Like you got alcohol is supposedly a disease, right?
Right.
So taking heroin is a disease that you have to make sure that you help pay for me. Well, no, I'm not for any of that.
Yes.
I mean, the only reason that libertarianism is becoming more popular is because the Republican Party is leaning more left. They're conceding
That's very true.
the control. And
Very
so it's
true.
the popular thing. If the Republican Party would get back to their platform, which I wholly agree with, then I think that it would be more popular again.
We're going to get there. You watch.
Yeah, it's a positive movement. That's the way I see it. And I do see a lot of kids because they don't want to say, well, I'm a Republican. You're not going to stand up in the middle of your high school class and say, I'm a Republican, because now you have things to defend. If you say I'm a libertarian, what do you have to defend?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Everything goes.
Yeah, anything goes. Well, we've never tried it. We don't really know what it's going to do. There's nothing to defend. It's just an easy thing to say.
Yep.
And everybody has sins, and that's the problem.
Alaskan Libertarian for Governor Carecliff coming up next. 7:50 or 7:29. Glen Biegel and Bonnie. Stay with us. 7:50 or 7:29. Glen Biegel and Bonnie. Stay with us.
And now, the Fox News Business Report, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Anchorage. The best or nothing.
From the Fox Business Network, the economy added 248,000 jobs last month, pushing the unemployment rate down to 5.9%. That's the lowest since July 2008. Non-farm payrolls for July and August were also revised higher. At around 11 a.m. Eastern, the Dow Industrials are up 125 points. The major indices are still on track for a second straight weekly decline. U.S. service companies were a bit busier last month. The Institute for Supply Management says its service index came in at 58.6 in September. That's down from August's record pace, but still indicates healthy growth. And Salix Pharmaceuticals is a winner today. Salix had scrapped a merger with Cosmo Pharmaceuticals less than 2 weeks after the Obama administration took steps to curb inversion deals that let companies avoid U.S. taxes by reincorporating overseas. Salix makes drugs for gastrointestinal disorders, and it will pay Cosmo a breakup fee of $25 million. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jolene Kent.
Hey guys, if you're into fantasy football, you've got to check out FanDuel.com. At FanDuel, you play in 1 week fantasy football leagues for real money with immediate cash payouts. You only play when you want, and you can change your team any week. FanDuel is paying out over $10 million every week this season. And right now, FanDuel is giving you up to $200 free. That's right. For every dollar you deposit, FanDuel will match it up to $200. Just go to FanDuel.com, click the microphone in the upper right corner, and enter code 5544. FanDuel.com, code 5544.
With KOAN News, I'm Ann Kenda. Governor Parnell is defending his administration's response to allegations that the Alaska National Guard allowed a culture of sexual assault. He responded to suggestions that his administration was too slow to act by saying that to his knowledge, everyone within his office acted in good faith. Documents from the Nuremberg trials have been auctioned off for $9,000. The documents were found in an old trunk in the Anchorage home of the stenographer Maxine Carr when her estate was being cleaned out. The winning bidder was a resident of Dallas who said she'll show the collection to war survivors and museums. Now that many permanent fund checks have been distributed and more people have money in their pockets, Alaska Airlines has dropped fares as an incentive for people to spend that money on a trip. Anchorage to Seattle is $378 round trip, while Anchorage to LA is $373. That's your Hot Talk News Update.
Cloudy skies for this afternoon, high 43. Tonight, cloudy, low 32. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. You'll see a bit of snow with little to no accumulation, high 42. Saturday night, cloudy, low 29. Mostly cloudy on Sunday, high 40. Monday, sunny and chilly, high 38. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather, KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Parking space 105A. To many, it's just 130 square feet of publicly allotted tarmac. Unless you own a 2014 Mercedes-Benz CLA. With its muscular, seductive look and distinctive diamond block grille, that parking space is transformed into a stage that showcases to others what groundbreaking style can be. And as you pull away, thanks to the turbocharged inline-4 engine, Parking Space 105A transforms again, this time into a launching pad. See the world differently. See it in a CLA from Mercedes-Benz, whose vehicles retain their value better than any other premium brand, according to ALG. Get the 2014 CLA 254 Matic starting at just $31,900.
MSRP for a 2014 CLA 254 Matic excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, while availability and actual dealer price may vary. Some equipment described as optional. See dealer for details.
Mercedes-Benz of Anchorage. The best or nothing.
When Malarkey Mark Begich ran for U.S. Senator, he made a lot of claims about his record as Anchorage mayor. Begich knew the truth wouldn't come to light before the election. But now, history is caught up with Malarkey Mark. Under Begich, Anchorage taxes went up 27%. Under Begich, the city budget ballooned, a $142 million increase in spending. Under Begich, the city was saddled with unprecedented 5-year union contracts. Under Begich, a deficit of over $20 million was left for the next mayor to deal with. Begich left Anchorage in serious trouble. Alaska's Energy, America's Values paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. It's time to replace Malarkey Mark with U.S. Senator Dan Sullivan. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. EnergyandValues.com.
Here's my good friend, Keith Monternock.
Automotive repairs can be frustrating. Let me help. Call 349-1637. I have been in business for nearly 20 years at the same location. Specialty Truck and Auto is in South Anchorage behind the Long Branch Saloon where Diamond becomes Abbott. I have 6 ASE certified technicians working from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. I have a voucher for any of the 6 Alaska Laser Wash locations for each customer. If you schedule ahead and need a ride when you drop your vehicle off, I may be able to help. Call Specialty Truck and Auto, 349-1637.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. The Talk of the Valley.
7:35 on a Friday morning, the 3rd day of October. Forecast tomorrow, the S word. That's right, snow tomorrow in Anchorage and the Valley. No accumulation expected. High of only 41. That doesn't seem too warm to me. Glen Biegel, Dan Fagan, Bonnie Cameron. We're happy to welcome here in the studio Carolyn Care Clift, running for governor of the state of Alaska on the Libertarian ticket. Care, nice to meet you. Thanks for getting up early and coming in to visit with us.
Well, it wasn't easy. I just got in from Juneau last night on the airplane. I stayed an extra day And as you can see, I had a little accident in Ketchikan, so this morning it was really hard to get up.
You got a little shiner there.
Yeah.
You slip and fall?
I fell on a sidewalk right after the big debate.
Oh, my goodness.
Parnell and Walker. It's the first time I've gotten to debate with Parnell, and it was nice having both Parnell and Walker.
How'd you do?
Somebody came up afterwards and said I won the debate, but that was nice to hear. I had a lot of people come up afterwards and talk to me.
We were talking during the break, and we're trying to get a handle on the Libertarian Party, what it stands for. I know you had said that you attended Tea Party meetings with Glenn.
Yes.
Well, what's the main difference between what you would say is the Tea Party and the Libertarian Party?
Well, the Tea Party, as it was originally designed, was for the fiscal responsibility and the taxes, and it was totally about economic
not social
responsibility. Issues. It was not about social issues. Now, there are a lot of people that are Tea Party that are very socially conservative, and there are a lot of people that are libertarian that are not socially conservative. So I think, but the Tea Party was is a big umbrella for people that are interested in fiscal responsibility issues, and that's where the libertarians are.
Where are you? Because I'm fascinated that most libertarians don't seem to, I don't want to say concerned, but it's not their focus, social issues such as abortion, gay marriage, legalization of drugs. Well, I guess they take a position on legalization of drugs, but where are you on the social issues? Whether we should redefine marriage to include man and a man, woman and a woman, or whether we should, outlaw abortion. Where are you personally on all that?
Where I am personally is not important. It's where the Libertarian Party is. Where the Libertarian Party is it's not the government's business. It's not the government's business who you marry. It's not the government's business what happens with your own body or your medical privacy. Government doesn't have any place in the bedroom or in your medical decisions or any of those other things. Government has no place legislating morality. We just believe the government should stay out of all those
murder
things.
Should not be illegal? Or assault or stealing? Because you say
no,
legislate morality. That's all immoral behavior.
We believe the only purpose of government is to protect individual rights, property, and life. And
so when you say legislate morality, that's not really the best way to put it, because if your morality affects another individual, then you would say the government should step in and oppose it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't want stealing.
And no force, no initiation of force against another person or the government should not be initiating force against you.
Now, there are a lot of people who believe that a baby inside a mother's womb is a life. Do you believe that?
I believe the baby is not yet an individual. The baby has to eat what the mother eats, has to drink what the mother drinks. Every decision the mother makes, the baby makes, because the baby is not an individual.
But isn't that true for the first 2, 3, 4 years of the baby's life? The baby can't survive. You can't give birth to a baby and walk away from it.
Are we here to discuss abortion today?
Well, no, I'm trying to get a sense. I'm trying to get a sense of why the libertarians.
It's a very private decision. A woman does not walk around with a big A on her chest to say, that she's pregnant out of wedlock or whatever. It's a very private decision that you make personally with your family, with your minister, with all the people it's a private decision.
Not when it extinguishes another life.
Well, no, hold on a minute. No, that's not been established yet.
It does.
No, Bonnie, I'm talking about what she believes.
Okay. Sorry,
what I'm trying to understand is what you believe about the baby inside the mother's womb. Because if you do believe it is a life with its beating heart and its own DNA, sucking its thumb, science has proven now the baby is fully capable of feeling pain at 3 weeks. If you believe that's not a life, then I can see saying it's not the government's job. But if that baby is a life, I don't see any rationale for saying that baby shouldn't be protected and it's a private matter, because that's a life.
It's that's a religious belief.
Well, I don't.
A lot of people have a religious belief that the.
Have you ever seen this ultrasound?
Of course, I've seen an ultrasound, but I'm telling you right now that I believe in Genesis 2:7, that when God made man, He gave man breath, and that man became a living soul. That's my personal belief.
And so
now, my personal belief comes directly from the Bible.
So you believe the baby is alive inside of the mother's womb?
No, they're not breathing.
Well,
they're not capable of breathing. Now, I personally I would be totally against late-term abortions. Totally.
Why?
Why?
Because the baby is capable of life at that point. Is capable of being born. Is capable of breathing. We have enough medical technology that we can save a baby that's born early.
Save a baby? What are you talking about? Save a baby? It's not a baby, you said.
I said it's not an individual.
So it's not a life.
It's not an individual, and it's not a life until he or she breathes.
What if the baby has some problems with their lungs and they need assisted breathing? Are they alive?
If the baby is viable enough to be born and have help with the lungs, then that baby's viable enough to be born. I think it's really very simple. If the baby if the fetus is viable, the fetus can be born. If that's true, then the every help should be given to that baby, to that fetus. But I'm telling you, my personal beliefs don't have anything to do with government.
But if you believe that a baby, and I understand you don't believe a baby's alive, but if you did believe it, then you would certainly stand up for that baby and you would want the government to protect that baby if you believe that baby was alive.
I believe that a woman has a right to conceal her pregnancy if she wishes to.
But even if the baby's alive?
It's a privacy issue.
So even if the baby is alive, the mother has the right to
The
end that
baby
life.
is not going to be...
I know, I'm asking... I'm
sorry,
giving you
we already have laws against late-term abortions in this state.
Yeah, but I'm asking you a hypothetical. If the baby is alive, then certainly you would not allow the mother to end the life. Your premise is that it's not a life, therefore it's okay to pull it out and end it.
The baby is not an individual life, totally dependent upon that mother.
Talking to Claire Cliff, running for governor on the Libertarian ticket. We'll be back. Take your call, 569-1080, 744. Governor on the Libertarian ticket. We'll be back. Take your call, 569-1080, 744.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Give him a call. 569-1080. KOAN.
When you've got the best ingredients, the pizza comes out right. That's just what we're cooking for every appetite. Experience the flavor. Call us right away. 24/7. It's a pizza party day.
October is National Pizza Month. Just hearing the word pizza brings a smile to almost everyone's face. And Sicily's Pizza wants to make you smile 5 times as big with their National Pizza Month special. Get as many as 5 medium 2-topping pizzas for only $9.99 each. Whatever style you like. For fast delivery, call 333-8000 and order the Sicily's National Pizza Month special. 333-8000 or order online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza. 333-8000.
It's said that character is what you do when no one is watching. If that's the case, then Senator Kathy Giessel has the sort of character that is needed in Juneau. Away from the photo ops or flashy media events, Kathy Giessel hits the books just like she did in nursing school. For the past 4 years, Senator Giessel has worked hard for you, studying the impact of greater access to immunizations for Alaska's kids, crafting legislation that frees up business owners to expand and hire more Alaskans, and working to improve the infrastructure like roads and schools. Not just for this generation, but for generations of Alaskans to come. This election is more than just about promises or bullet points. It's about sending the right person to Juneau with the character to act on behalf of us when we can't watch. We need someone with the character to do the hard work when no one is watching, to make decisions we can trust. We need to re-elect Senator Kathy Giessel.
Elect Senator Kathy Giessel for Senate. 12701 Ridgewood Road, Anchorage, Alaska, 99516.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning on the Talk of the Valley, KVNT.
All right, 747. We're talking with Care Clift, running for governor on the Libertarian ticket. Our number 569-1080.
Well, I wanted to keep talking about the life issue, but for the things which are up, you're running for governor, right?
Yes.
And right now, the Medicaid pays for, I think, around 800 abortions in the state of Alaska. How do you feel about that?
We had SB 49 passed, which makes elective abortion against the law. So I believe that's going to be changing, because it's against the law to have an elective abortion. There's a laundry list of reasons you can have an abortion on SB 49.
So you agree with the law, though?
Do I agree with SB 49?
Yeah, I mean, these are the kind of things that people have to deal with. Parental consent, informed consent, public funding.
I think the government, again, should not be making decisions.
Parental consent. Where do you think? When should
no,
a parent?
I think notification is fine.
So your 13-year-old abused by somebody at school doesn't have
Most
to.
13-year-olds, if they trust their parents, they'll be talking to their parents. There's a reason they're not talking to their parents. And I would, and if the parents felt like they were able to take care of that child and they wanted that child born. I'm belong to a grandparents and parents group at the Mat-Su. These are grandparents who have been had their family rights taken away by the OCS because their
Office of Children's Services. Because why?
Because their grandchildren were born and gone right straight into foster.
Why would the state do that? Just out of spite?
Yeah. They already have
the child didn't
OCS.
do anything wrong.
No,
There was no legal process, no due process whatsoever.
They come in without a warrant and take these children.
Okay, I guess what I'd like to hear. That's a very strong claim.
Federal case going on right now this week
of a case where there was no legal process whatsoever.
Yes.
And a child was taken away.
Yes. And
how did they make a decision? I mean, why don't they just take all children away if they can take any child away without a legal process?
If there's an active OCS case.
So there is a legal process.
No.
You just claimed that there wasn't a legal process, that you said they came in without a legal process and they took the child away.
And not the second child. There's no legal process for the second child.
Why would they take all children away if they can just take any child they want without a legal process?
It's a money-making scheme.
Yeah.
So they take the children away. Do they sell them?
OCS is out of control.
Yeah, it's a money-making. Well, sell them would be the wrong term. That would be like child trafficking. But it is kidnapping, because when you have a healthy mother, she's gone through her pregnancy and stayed off of drugs. She has a healthy baby, drug-free baby. But because she has another child that had been in the foster care system that was taken by OCS, they think they can come in without a warrant and take the newborn. And then they put the child directly into foster care. They don't go through the steps of talking to the family. They put the child up, because newborn babies are easy to adopt out. And they put the child up for adoption.
Well, look,
they get money for this.
I think what you're going to find in the public system is there's a lot of abuse that goes on. There's a lot of abuse of children. We have the worst abuse rates anywhere in the country.
That's true.
And it's a very sad state of affairs, and the state's struggling to try and figure out what to do about that. But we got a lot of other things to talk about.
569-1080. Kara Clift is running for governor, the Libertarian ticket. If you'd like to ask Kara a question, you can give us a call, 569-1080. Mark, you're on with Claire.
Hello?
Yes, Mark.
Yes, I'd like to ask the individual, is it okay to kill the fetus? Abort the fetus?
I prefer not talking about this anymore. We already hashed this out.
Yes, because you see, the reason why you don't want to talk about it is because fetus means in English offspring. If you're allowed to kill the fetus, you're allowed to kill your offspring. And you cannot say in good conscience that you can kill your offspring, which means that you can kill any child at any time. Is that not true?
Once the child is breathing, the child is alive.
But it's called a fetus when inside the baby, and it's called, the English word is fetus, offspring in English. So therefore, it means that you're allowed to kill your offspring. What's the difference?
I've already expressed to you my own personal belief. I would have never done anything like that myself.
Why not?
I did not, because it's my own personal belief. And my belief is that this is a conscientious decision that is made with the family, with the mother, with the father, with the religious people, and we do not need to discuss this. It's not the government's business to go inside a woman's womb and make a decision for her own body in her own womb.
I'm just curious as to why. I'm assuming you think it's wrong, personally?
I think it's wrong for the government to
I'm talking
invade
about
a woman's most private place.
But
Yes.
you said that you would never have an abortion. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I would never have it.
why?
That's my conscientious decision.
But why? Why would you not have
It
an
doesn't
abortion?
matter why.
Well, sure it does.
Yeah, I
You're
always
running for governor.
Excuse me?
You're running
I'm
for governor.
too old to have children now.
Well, no,
and I had my children
but
already.
this is such an important issue to so many people. And if you're saying that you believe that you would not have an abortion or would have considered it or think it's right to have an abortion personally, my question to you is why?
I always wanted children.
So
I wanted children. I was able to take care of the children. I was married for 8 years before I had before I got pregnant. I can tell you all the reasons why I would never have had an abortion.
You don't think abortion's wrong. You just for yourself and your personal circumstances would have never had one because it was about what you want. So you don't think abortion's wrong.
No, I don't think it's wrong for people that, and I really think that that like the morning after pill, like it's called, I think that that's fine. Okay. I think that at that point we're not really dealing with a fertilized egg, and if that fertilized egg does not attach, that's like what happens every month with a woman.
So do you think that like Hobby Lobby should provide that kind of thing for their employees?
Now, I agree with Hobby Lobby in their decision not to provide abortion services because that was a sole proprietorship. It's a family-owned business. They had strong religious beliefs. I believe that was fine. They were already providing contraception for their employees. They just did not want to provide abortion services, and I believe that was perfectly fine. That's not the government. That was a sole proprietorship. That is a corporation.
But you make it sound, though, I mean, it seems like if you're a libertarian and against government intervention, you'd been against Obamacare altogether.
Yes, I am.
Huh.
I am against Obamacare.
Because it's telling the citizen that they have to buy something?
Exactly. It's telling you have to buy insurance, whether you want it or not. It's telling you what's covered under that insurance. It's telling you that you have to pay, young people have to pay big bucks to support the old people in the insurance.
Talking to Kara Clift, who's running for governor.
I'm definitely was against it.
What about legalized drugs?
I am the only governor candidate that would be voting yes.
On the marijuana?
Yes.
What about crack? Should crack be legal?
Is crack under consideration?
No, but I'm asking you, do you believe crack should be legal?
You know, I haven't really come to a conclusion on that myself.
Is there, because, you know, there could be varying degrees of legalization. You could go meth, crack, heroin, cocaine, pot. I mean, there's different degrees. Do you think all drugs should be legal, or just marijuana, maybe a couple others?
I think we have to consider each one separately as to the harm it can do.
But why?
And
if the government shouldn't be involved in that?
I feel like the government, you should be able to go to the pharmacist and get most drugs that are not harmful. And I think that just like in Mexico, where you can just go in and say, I need some antibiotics today, and you can go ahead and get them if you know that there's a prescription that you need, or if you know that there's something.
But if the libertarian philosophy says no government intervention, why outlaw crack?
And most libertarians would say that there should be no government intervention.
And even so, that means crack and cocaine and all that. You don't agree with that, though. You depart from your.
I think that it's a slow process.
Well, because the government would have to.
I think the drug war has been a total failure, and it has been a total waste of federal funds and a total waste of state funds.
Kara Clift running for governor, a Libertarian Party ticket. I got a question
for you. And we have
a
lot of issues to talk about.
Do you think that more people will use marijuana if it's legalized?
No. I think that about 50% of the people in this state have used marijuana at some time, and that are still continuing to use marijuana.
They're finding the numbers down in Washington and Colorado, from what I read, is that there is increased use, particularly daily use,
and among younger people.
And that might happen. It might be a little
spike. Why do you think that is?
But I think it'll go back
to the essence of libertarianism.
Yes.
Why do you think that people abstain from something if it's illegal?
I think people abstain when it's illegal because they don't want to get arrested. It's like the you know.
Think marijuana use is good for people?
And it is good for some people, yes.
Kara Clift is running for governor in the Libertarian ticket. We'll be back with her and your phone calls, 569-1080, 569-1080. 7:58 is the time. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. KOAN, KVNT. 7:58 is the time.
Well, we are quietly sneaking up on the Halloween season, so let's talk pumpkins. Bell's warm greenhouses are currently home to thousands of potentially very scary pumpkins, and all of them have plenty of character to make your jack-o'-lantern the scariest ever. Best pumpkins, best prices right now at Bell's. By the way, if you've been meaning to get your baskets and tubs into Bell's for wintering over, Specking Road Bell's is full at this point, but Bell's at Cranberry Road has a little room left. But hurry, you don't want to be left out. In the gift shop at Specking Road, there's a nice special on those great smart wool socks. All of them are 25% off. And maybe you should come this weekend with a friend, because this weekend at Specking Road, lattes are 2 for the price of 1, and C's candy bars are 2 for the price of 1. So obviously this would be a good weekend to go shopping with somebody. Remember, October 23, 24, and 25 are the dates for the big Zappi Silver Restoration Clinic at Bell's on Specking Road. Call 345-4476 to make your appointment with the experts from Zappi's. Bell's Nursery and Gifts on Specking Road and Bell's Nursery and Cranberry Road.
Not just talk. Hot Talk. KOAN Anchorage. 95.1 FM. 1080 AM.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. The unemployment rate drops below 6% with a surge in hiring last month. Fox News Radio's Rachel Sutherland live in D.C.
Lisa, the jobless rate fell to its lowest level since 2008 to 5.9% as the economy added 248,000 jobs in September. The Labor Department also revised July and August numbers higher, showing an additional 69,000 jobs than first estimated.
We had such a terrible first quarter that the second quarter really rebounded strongly, and it carried a little bit into the third.
Economist Steve Beeman says the labor participation rate dropped by about 0.1%, meaning there were fewer Americans looking for work. Lisa.
And Rachel, Republicans point to a shrinking workforce as evidence the economy isn't as healthy as it should be. A possible case of Ebola in the nation's capital. A patient admitted to Howard University Hospital in D.C. with symptoms that could be associated with Ebola after traveling to Nigeria. Now in isolation out of an abundance of caution being evaluated. The latest confirmed case, a freelance cameraman who's been working in Liberia for several years, falling ill just after NBC hired him this week. He'll be flown back to the U.S. for treatment Sunday.
He knows he's going to come home. He knows he just has a couple more days.
His father telling NBC's Today Show his son is in good spirits. The rest of the crew now isolated as a precaution. Late word from Hong Kong that pro-democracy protesters are shelving a plan for talks with the government. Fox Radio's Alistair Wanklin live at our Asia Bureau.
Those talks cancelled, Lisa, after hundreds of unidentified people confronted the pro-democracy activists, telling them to go home. There were injuries in the scuffle. China's state television today assailed the protesters, calling them a small group of people trying to hijack the system. What they want is greater choice in elections for Hong Kong's leader, and this local resident agrees.
Appreciate what the students are doing. I want to come out and stand up for the students.
The protests are now entering their second week.
Thanks, Alistair. Fair and balanced.
Good communication is key to business, especially when you need to work with people who aren't in the same office. So how do millions of business professionals connect with remote clients and colleagues? By using Citrix GoToMeeting, the proven solution for meeting and collaborating online. And now, for a limited time only, when you sign up for GoToMeeting by October 10th, you'll get another Citrix product of your choice free for 6 months. Visit GoToMeeting.com and get started, but don't wait. This special offer ends October 10th. So visit GoToMeeting.com today.
Do you owe the IRS over $10,000 in back taxes? Have unfiled returns or under audit? Do you owe payroll taxes? Are your wages being garnished? Bank account levied? The IRS continues to ramp up their collection efforts. Tax Defense Partners can help. Tax Defense Partners will completely handle your case for you and deal with the IRS on your behalf, and can negotiate a settlement of up to 85% off the original amount owed, including penalties and interest if you qualify. Call Tax Defense Partners now at 866-TAX-DEFENSE. That's 866-829-3333. Your Tax Defense.
Well, howdy, I'm Nick Worthington, Ford Giant, Worthington Ford. And folks, we're having a huge sale.
Right now, you can get friends and neighbors pricing automatically on these beautiful new 2014s. That's the official pricing set by Ford.
And you can use your PFD today. Look, here's a Ford Excursion, just $12,900. And here's a Lincoln Navigator, just $12,900.
Or how about a Mazda 3 for $69.50? Or a Ford Focus for just $49.50. And remember, you can use your PFD today. And if you're looking for a new Ford, friends and neighbors pricing could save you a lot.
This is your chance to automatically qualify for Ford's friends and neighbors pricing, so don't miss it.
Plus, if you've got a trade-in, we need it. Push, pull, or drag it in, and we'll give you top dollar.
Everyone qualifies for this special offer, so hurry on in to Giant Worthington Ford on Gamble.
Stock number 03 Focus 1435378. 04 Excursion Q09528. 07 Navigator 1439708. 05 Mazda 3 1435388. Friends and neighbors pricing excludes Raptor MKC and fleet deals. On approved credit, subject to prior sale. See dealer for details. Ends 10/2/2014.
A lot of people are asking, what has Sean Parnell done for Alaska?
Well, since Sean Parnell became our governor, Alaska's economy added more than 16,000 new jobs. That's helped families all across the state. And with the natural gas pipeline on the horizon, you can bet there are more jobs coming.
Since Sean Parnell became our governor, high school graduation rates are on the rise. Thousands are going to college or job training because they earned his Alaska
$1 billion Point Thompson project rolling on the North Slope, providing jobs to more than 1,000 Alaskans and the fuel we'll need for a natural gas pipeline.
Governor Parnell did all this while cutting the state budget by more than $1 billion over each of the past 2 years.
Alaska is in the middle of a jobs boom.
An education boom.
And an oil boom.
That's why Parnell 2014, Box 100719 Anchorage, paid for this announcement.
When I grew up, I wanted to be a pro basketball player.
An elementary school teacher.
Oh, an Olympic gymnast.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything. Visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Why is A&A The Shop Alaska's independent Subaru specialist? How is it they've been voted the best shop in Anchorage not once but 6 times? Well, it's pretty simple. They offer the best warranty in the business. If they work on your Subaru, you're going to get a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on both parts and labor. That's unheard of. A&A The Shop deals exclusively with Subarus, and they also offer $35 oil changes. All their technicians are ASE certified. Call A&A The Shop for an appointment. 562-3919 in Anchorage and 696-2096 in Eagle River. Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. From 6 to 9 a.m. on the Talk of the Valley.
6 minutes past 8 o'clock. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. Our guest in the studio, Care Cliff, running for governor on the Libertarian ticket. She's sporting a shiner this morning.
Mm-hmm.
If people ask you what happened, you can say I was on the Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie show. That's how I got my black eye. It got pretty rough.
What do you call this? Radio violence?
That's right.
Do you support radio violence?
No, we do not. We're all pacifists here.
Care is running for governor, Libertarian ticket.
569-1080 if you'd like to join the conversation.
I tend to think myself sort of trending libertarian, wanting a smaller government. The Republicans have gone too far in that direction, but I don't know how I get to where you are. What does the government look like if you were governor? What would it be like?
Well, it would be obviously quote bipartisan. You could say tripartisan.
Well, Democrats don't want smaller government, so they're obviously out.
No, Democrats don't want smaller government, but they do want the government to stay out of their social issues. So
no, they don't. They have fought us trying to make sure that we stop public funding of abortions, and they try to fund Planned Parenthood, which is going to be in your business. I mean, I guess I don't understand. This doesn't make any sense.
Well,
Democrats want larger government. They want the government to fund things that conservatives don't
they
like.
like the nanny
Where are
state.
You?
The nanny state. And we're totally
so you wouldn't be
against the
bipartisan
nanny
then.
state.
You would drop the Democrats out of your coalition.
No, it depends what the issue is.
When do you think the Democrats agree with you as a libertarian? Since it's not life, I just established that they're for public funding of all abortions. I've argued with them, battled with them over and over and over again in Planned Parenthood. There must be something else. Where do Democrats agree with you? Where would this bipartisan coalition come from?
Well, I haven't studied what the Democrats believe. I only know what libertarians believe, and at this point, I would say that at this point, I'm not sure. All of the candidates running are trying to reduce the size of the state government at this point.
All candidates?
All of them. Fiscal responsibility.
They're still running that way.
They're running that way.
Vince
That's what they
Beltrami wants to cut the size of the budget?
Well, she's saying that's the rhetoric.
Right, that's the rhetoric. I'm just saying, look, Vince
rhetoric.
Beltrami to me is the driving force behind the Walker-Malott ticket.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and do you think that he wants smaller government? Has he ever argued for smaller government that you're aware of?
I don't think she's saying that.
I haven't studied Vince Beltrami either.
Yeah.
But
so in other words, the rhetoric doesn't match with what they're really
the unions
going to
want to keep the wages high, and so that they can get higher wages as union workers, and they want all the government contracts.
4 people
union.
on a fire truck rather than 3 like everywhere else in the country. They just want more union members, which will mean more money going to unions.
Yes. Absolutely. Of course, that's the nature of the union.
So what would it look like under you, though? I mean, I'm trying to, you say it would be more bipartisan. I don't really understand that, since I know Democrats don't want smaller government, and it sounds like you do.
Well, I just know that there are a lot of things that I disagree with Republicans on. There's a lot of things that I disagree with Democrats on, but there's also things that we all agree on. And I can't give you an example right now. The legislature brings the laws forward, and it's my job to look at those laws and decide whether I'm going to veto them or not.
You have an example for us for where libertarian principles
let me give you an
sort of
example, because we keep talking about things like SB 49. There was a contraception amendment proposed by the Democrats for SB 49. And it would have made it a little sweeter for them to vote for that SB 49 if that contraception amendment was on there.
I'm not familiar with SB 49. What was it?
That's the one that outlaws elective abortions.
Oh, it redefines the language, because right now, if you have a headache, you can get the state to pay for your elective abortion.
Right. Okay.
Literally. Mm-hmm. Quite literally. If you're going to experience weight gain, you can get the state to pay for your elective abortion.
But personally, I don't know. It's between the woman and her medical provider, and
okay.
I believe that
but you
under Medicaid, it has to be medically necessary. So we have to talk about
necessary meant that if you had a headache, then they would pay for it, as long as you got a doctor. And there are lots of abortion doctors who will sign off on whatever you say.
I don't believe that there's a lot of unethical.
But you support. No. Well, the only doctor they needed was the abortionist.
Okay, we're not going to go there again.
Well,
You brought it up. You brought up SB 49.
No, I'm bringing up
where,
the contraception amendment,
okay,
which was left out.
Okay, what was that? So you like the contraception amendment, which said what?
That Medicaid would pay for contraception.
And you thought that was a bad idea.
I thought that was a good idea.
But I thought the government should stay out of people's privacy.
It's Medicaid.
I'm totally lost.
That's government.
I know, but if somebody is impoverished and they go and they say, I need Medicaid, I need help.
Aren't you about personal responsibility?
I am definitely about personal responsibility.
Then that would be a personal
Don't you think personal responsibility would mean that if you don't want to have children, you should prevent them?
Doesn't that mean that if you want contraception, you should pay for it yourself, not other people should have to pay for it?
Yes, it does mean that.
Then that's not a good thing.
But it also means that you don't take Medicaid.
But they do.
So then if they take Medicaid and they want to prevent having another baby, then I think it would be really a good thing
so personal
for contraception to be covered. That is part of personal responsibility.
Personal responsibility is the government paying for your choices.
No, personal responsibility is not the government paying for your choices. If I was being personally responsible, then I probably would not accept Medicaid.
But as long as we're going to have Medicaid, then we want the government to get more involved in this. So this is an area where you agree with the Democrats. Is that what you're trying to bring it up?
That would be an area where, as long as we have Obamacare, we have Medicaid, I believe that
What do you
Medicaid
think of President
should,
Obama?
Oh, most of the things that a lot of the things that he's done, I
What do you think
totally
of amnesty?
disagreed. I believe that the libertarian idea actually is open borders.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that Obama would be justified through executive action for allowing for essentially legalizing all the people who are here?
I don't believe he's allowed to do much through executive action.
Well, he's going to do it.
But he's taken a lot of liberties with the Constitution when he makes these executive orders.
How much money have you raised?
That's not an irrelevant question.
Well, I think it's relevant because it speaks to your ability to persuade people to support you.
Well, I've had enough money to travel to different parts of the state.
You won't say the amount?
I don't actually know the amount right now. I have to do the report this weekend.
Care Cliff running for governor on the Libertarian ticket. Thank you so much for coming by. We appreciate the visit.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Care. 814, Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. We'll be right back.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Care. 814, Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. We'll be right back.
Glen Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
Best Split Firewood can deliver split firewood to your house today. And if you live in Anchorage, delivery is free. Wait, what did I just say? Delivery is free if you live in Anchorage. Wow, that's cool. Okay, back to the commercial. Best Split Firewood. Call now, 727-5928. That's 727-5928 and get 2 bundles of starter sticks with your order. Hold on, 2 bundles of starter sticks and free delivery in Anchorage? That's way cool. Best Split Firewood will deliver mostly all birch split and ready for your fireplace or wood stove, no matter how much you need. A quarter, half, or full cord. They have the best firewood in the city, and they'll even mix in some spruce if you ask for it. And don't worry if you just need a couple of bundles. Best Split Firewood has them wrapped and ready to go at half of what you would pay anywhere else in the city. Best Split Firewood. Call today for free delivery in Anchorage and 2 bundles of starter sticks. 727-5928. That's 727-5928.
Visit their new location at 2000 East 68th Avenue in Anchorage.
It's said that character is what you do when no one is watching. If that's the case, then Senator Kathy Giesel has the sort of character that is needed in Juneau. Away from the photo ops or flashy media events, Kathy Giesel hits the books just like she did in nursing school. For the past 4 years, Senator Giesel has worked hard for you, studying the impact of greater access to immunizations for Alaska's kids, crafting legislation that frees up business owners to expand and hire more Alaskans, and working to improve the infrastructure like roads and schools. Not just for this generation, but for generations of Alaskans to come. This election is more than just about promises or bullet points. It's about sending the right person to Juneau with the character to act on behalf of us when we can't watch. We need someone with the character to do the hard work when no one is watching, to make decisions we can trust. We need to re-elect Senator Kathy Giesel.
Paid for by re-elect Senator Kathy Giesel for Senate. 12701 Ridgewood Road, Anchorage, Alaska, 99516.
You're on with Fagan, Biegel. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. The Talk of the Valley. KVN.
8:17 in the morning on a Friday. Enjoy today because tomorrow snow cometh, according to the weather people. Hey, our good friend Mike Daniels and his big team of country financial representatives are ready to serve you and help you enjoy a worry-free, stress-free retirement. Country Financial, they've got 13 locations in Alaska, 5 of them right here in Anchorage, 5 of them in the Valley. And I'm telling you, you spend 10 minutes with Mike Daniels or one of his country representatives, and the light bulb's going to start going off in your head. You're going to hear things that you just really never thought of before when it comes to planning for your retirement, when it comes to whether you have enough insurance. They will ask you the right questions. They're experts. They've dedicated their lives to this. And the folks at Country Financial will make a huge difference in your life. I don't care how young you are. I don't care if you're 22 and you're in your first job. Go see the experts when it comes to financial planning at Country Financial. The number, 866-COUNTRY, 866-COUNTRY, and country is spelled
COUNTRY.
I love watching Bonnie Cameron around the pro-death culture people. You and I are hardened. We've dealt with these people for years now. And Bonnie has not, in your circle, you probably don't have a lot of pro-death culture people.
Not at all.
And so to hear people speak about the death culture in ways that would, frankly, it still bothers me. It's very difficult for me to hear. But I can tell for Bonnie, hearing it, that's probably the 4th or 5th death culture person you've dealt with.
It's really troubling.
It is.
It's hard to sit that close to them.
It is. And,
and then to have her husband tell me that babies don't have souls, So the 2 miscarriages I have meant nothing. It means nothing.
I would say this, Bonnie, and this is, I don't know, Glenn, I know you don't like it when I talk like this, but...
Oh, heart, hope. Where are we headed?
I think that it's, Care Cliff and her clear pro-death culture stance. She is deceived. It's not that she's a bad person. It's not that she's evil. She has just decided in her heart that, again, I know it shuts down the argument, Glenn. I know it, I know it makes it, the way I present these sometimes, it's like, well, I'm not going to call in or argue this because if that's what Dan really believes, I can't really counter that. But I honestly believe that truth is only seen through the heart. And if you don't tenderize your heart, you're not going to see truth. And so I have more tolerance now for positions that, frankly, I find despicable. Because I know that it's so easy to harden your heart and to deceive yourself. I did it earlier in this broadcast. I do it all the time. I come to believe things, and I harden my heart to the point where that I'm positive I'm doing the right thing. And I'm usually angry, and I'm usually stubborn.
Never.
But once I begin to tenderize my heart just the littlest bit, all of a sudden I start seeing things differently. You called me earlier in the broadcast about all the Tea Party or the Libertarians who are saying they're not going to vote for Dan Sullivan, I shouldn't be calling them quitters. And you're right about that. But when my heart is hard, I'm angry, and I want to call them quitters. I want to get 2 inches from the front of their face and put my finger in their nose and say, you quitter. But that's a hard heart. So when you harden your heart, you can believe anything. And I would submit to you, the people who believe in the death culture, the idea that a baby inside a mother's womb, the most vulnerable citizen on the planet, should not be protected. When people come to that conclusion, that baby's life is fair game, even if you take that baby's life for convenience sake, that your heart is so hard and it is brought on deception.
Well, I listened to her, and to me, she just didn't make any sense. Her whole presentation, and this is the difficulty I have essentially with all libertarians. They don't have to make sense. You know what she wanted to talk about? In the mythical, magical world where all of a sudden people decided not to participate in an election, and she was appointed to be our governor, and then she changed out of the legislature, this is the way I would do things. Well, that isn't the world we live in. You know what? I tell you, there is one hope that I do have, and it came clear to me as I was sitting there listening to Kara Clift running as a libertarian for governor. And that is, we're headed in for some pretty hard times in Alaska as far as our budgets for the government go. We are. I think oil is down at $91 a barrel. Under ACES, it would have taken, I think, $115 a barrel in order to balance our budget, and around $112 or something in order to balance our budget under SB 21. We're at 91. We could be headed to 75. Folks, this state has got real questions about what it's going to do. We will have to cut education. We will have to cut the university budget. We will have to cut welfare. And you know what's going to have to happen at that point? And this is my hope, and this is why when I talk to people who don't have to live in reality because they've never led, they've never lived, their ideas have never mattered. It doesn't matter what Kara Clift says because she has never led anything. She's never had to govern. It doesn't make any difference. And when you ask them about things which would make a difference, well, what will government look like? I have no idea. Let me tell you about all the things that I would do if I were the dictator, and I could tell you how I would run the state. She doesn't deal with reality.
All hypotheticals.
All hypothetical.
Woo!
All fantasy. It was like talking to somebody who lives in a fantasy, and it's totally useless. And this is the challenge I have for libertarians.
I wanted to hear your response to what I said about dealing with the death culture folks, and whether if I'm right about the hardness of the heart and the deception, and is that?
I don't know. To me, saying she's been deceived almost gives her a pass, and that makes me mad because I am about personal responsibility, not her. I'm about personal responsibility. I know abortion is a hot topic, but a life is a life is a life. You cannot say that, oh, life only begins at this time, or a life is only worth living if it's perfect. A life is a life is a life. I don't care about exceptions. I believe God has a purpose and a meaning for every life and will make a purpose for a life if it is given a chance to live. And that's not your choice to make. That's not your choice to make.
So you don't think she's deceived?
I don't like to call it deceived because that gives her a pass.
So she's evil?
No, I just think she's, well, maybe deceived. I don't know, misled. She's hardened her heart.
Yeah, but that's my point.
Yeah, you're right in that, and she might be deceived. That might be it, but to me, that gives her an out. She's like, oh, I'm just deceived. Well, we could all say we've been deceived.
But I believe, and this may be a differing, and I don't know, Glenn, how you feel about it. Maybe this is kind of how I view mankind. I think anytime you believe something that's not true, the result is going to be negative if you act on that.
I believe she's deceiving other people.
Well, if you're deceived, you're going to deceive other people because you don't know. The mark of deception is you never know you're deceived. right? I mean, there are things that I believe, Bonnie, that aren't true.
That's true.
There are things you believe that aren't true.
Yes.
And we don't know what those things are. I think all three of us care enough about truth that if we knew what they were, we'd change our opinion.
You notice you didn't include me in that? 'Cause there's nothing I believe that's not true.
So when you're talking about dealing with people, because, look, on the surface, what she said in this studio sickened me to my core.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely sickened me and disgusted me. And anytime I hear people saying that an innocent, vulnerable child should not be protected from death, I just, you know how I am on abortion. It's my only issue.
Well, I understand where they're coming from with the anti-government. We're all sick of government. Government has completely overreached in almost every part of our lives. But when you're telling someone that they can go ahead and have an abortion and telling other people to pay for that abortion.
Let me tell you something. Something happened in this studio last week. And it was right there. Les Guerra looked at you in humility and in honesty and admitted to you that he and his wife are very uncomfortably pro-choice.
Right.
That's the path to truth.
Yes. It was honesty that I really like to see.
I don't know that I've ever heard a Democrat.
I've never heard
be that honest.
And I don't know that he would have said that on air, but he did not say it off the record. He said it just to us.
Yes.
Well, it was because of you, Bonnie. I mean, you kept asking him.
Yes.
You asked him the critical question.
Well, and he was saying, I don't want government involved. Well, then, what about murder? You think the government should be involved when it comes to murder?
But that speaks to approach. If we go, you baby killer, they're going to shut down. Just like when I call the libertarians, you quitter, they're going to shut down.
Right.
Right. But, when you start talking about abortion, it comes from the very inner parts of your heart. Sorry, Glenn. It's true. You're just oozing with sincerity and compassion and honesty and vulnerability. I can hear your voice like, but what about this? And what? You're just all sincere.
My mom was 2 pounds when she was born in 1942.
Wow.
Her mother would have had an abortion had it been accessible, and I wouldn't be here today. My children wouldn't be here today. How many more children are not here because of it?
So you wouldn't be here, huh?
I would not be.
Is that supposed to bolster your argument, or?
That is so mean.
Woo. Well, I'm just looking at all the ramifications of your argument.
Some people would agree with that.
Yeah, well, anyway, we'll take a break. 8:29, Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie, 569-1080, 569-1080. Brady!
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
Local news brought to you by Jansen Funeral Homes, Jansen's Evergreen Memorial Chapel, Jansen's Alaska Cremation Center, and Jansen's Eagle River Funeral Home. Jansen Funeral Homes, where just like family, they're there when you need them.
With KOAN News, I'm Ann Kenda. A former Glen Allen dentist has been found not guilty of sex assault. His defense argued that the act with the woman at an annual conference of the Copper River Native Association was consensual. 44-year-old Kevin Brent Shedlock will seek the return of his dentistry credentials, which he had voluntarily given up. Investigators with the Federal Office of Civil Rights will be at 4 University of Alaska campuses next week looking for compliance with Title IX, which prohibits discrimination against women's sports by institutions that receive federal funding. It's part of a standard review taking place at dozens of schools around the country. A Barrow woman has made history as the first woman to take a whale in the Arctic community. 31-year-old Bernadette Adams killed the 27-foot animal with a bomb attached to a harpoon. Some of its meat has already been given out in the community, and some is being saved for Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's your Hot Talk News Update.
Cloudy skies for this afternoon, high 43. Tonight, cloudy, low 32. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. You'll see a bit of snow with little to no accumulation, high 42. Saturday night, cloudy, low 29. Mostly cloudy on Sunday, high 40. Monday, sunny and chilly, high 38. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Chris here along with my buddy Brock. That's right, we're here to tell you to tune into the Beer Show every Saturday at 5 p.m. on 95.5 and 1080 KOAN. The Beer Show is brought to you by Brown Jug Alaska, Eagle River Ale House, Great Artisan Beverages, and the Odom Corporation. Please drink responsibly.
Why aren't you?
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Eating healthy doesn't have to be complicated. This week, I want you to start with a handful of almonds. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN's chief medical correspondent. You don't have to make an immediate diet overhaul if you're trying to live a healthier life. Start with small changes instead, like adding some nuts to your diet. Nuts like almonds, pecans, pistachios. They're full of monounsaturated fats. That's great for your cardiovascular health. And walnuts are also a great source of omega-3 fatty acids. That plays an important role in your overall health. A recent study in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that people with higher blood levels of omega-3 from seafood lived on average 2.2 years longer than those with lower levels. Nuts are a great plant-based alternative to get your omega-3 fix. Most importantly, they can help stave off hunger pangs with something that is satisfying, relatively healthy, but remember, just a handful. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or owe the IRS or state more than $10,000? If you don't take action now, your tax problem is going to get worse, much worse. Seizure of property, bank levies, wage garnishments, and potential criminal prosecution. And if you owe the IRS back payroll taxes, chances are you will be visited at your home or business by an IRS agent. Don't become paralyzed by fear. Take action now. Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield for help. Our team of experienced tax attorneys can get you protected, stop collections, and negotiate a permanent settlement with the IRS and state, potentially saving you thousands of dollars. At U.S. Tax Shield, our tax advisors will review your case for free, inform you of your rights, and give you a guaranteed quote. No games and no tricky upsells. That's why we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Put an end to your torment. Get protected. Get the Shield. Call U.S. Tax Shield now at 800-299-1855. That's 800-299-1855. 800-299-1855.
Alaska's Energy, America's Values, paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Energyandvalues.com.
Mark Begich is unbelievable.
Washington thinks it knows what's best for Alaska, and that's what I'm fighting against every day.
Fighting? Begich voted for all Obama's appointments, like Sally Jewell as Secretary of the Interior. Jewell immediately said no to exploration in Anwar and no to a King Cove road. Begich didn't fight Washington. He rolled over, like he rolled over for Obamacare. Now Begich is trying to duck and hide on Obamacare, on oil taxes, on cap and trade, on the IRS scandal, even on Anwar. How can you deliver Anwar, Mark, when Harry Reid says a Democrat-controlled Senate will never allow an Anwar vote? Alaskans can't trust a thing Begich says. It's time to replace Malarkey Mark with U.S. Senator Dan Sullivan.
Here's my good friend, Keith Monternock.
Automotive repairs can be frustrating. Let me help. Call 349-1637. I have been in business for nearly 20 years at the same location. Specialty Truck and Auto is in South Anchorage behind the Long Branch Saloon where Diamond becomes Abbott. I have 6 ASE certified technicians working from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. I have a voucher for any of the 6 Alaska Laser Wash locations for each customer. If you schedule ahead and need a ride when you drop your vehicle off, I may be able to help. Call Specialty Truck and Auto, 349-1637.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
8:35 in the morning. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie are number 569-1080. They're the best roofing company in the state, bar none. Earhart Roofing, Frank and Becky Earhart, their son James. They've been in business 4 decades plus. That's a long time. You install roofs for 4 decades, and you're still in business, you're good at it. And here's how good they are at Earhart Roofing. They will install a roof on your home within 2 days, and by the way, they will guarantee it for 50 years. They're always the lowest bidder. They do industrial, commercial, residential. Better Business Bureau of the Year. Earhart Roofing. Here's the number, 345-5555. 345-5555. Again, our number here, 569-1080. 569-1080. Jim, you're on.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, I consider myself a libertarian, but I do not agree with Carolyn at all.
Okay.
I have to say, because, and you're going to disagree with this wholeheartedly, but I'm pro-choice, but against any government support, subsidy, or intervention with any choices people make, right? And so I don't think that the government should be interfering, paying for, being involved with anyone's choices. Hey, they got themselves, in that situation in the first place, and ultimately, God will judge them in the end.
What about a 75-year-old woman who's can't pay her rent? You kick her out on the street?
Well, I think that the government does have a place, and there are things put in place already for the government. But I do believe that, we shouldn't have tax or people basically riding on the taxpayers' backs. And so the government should be involved as little as possible. Of course, there are exceptions to everything. And so, the 75-year-old lady, if she can't pay her rent, you have to look at that situation in the context of that situation and not just throw a blanket over the whole thing.
Well, that's what I thought you said initially, that you didn't like any government intervention with helping.
No,
anybody.
I mean, I'm for minimal government intervention. Now, obviously, there's an exception to everything, and you can't just, throw everything into the same pile and expect it all to work.
Well, Jim, I appreciate your phone call. Thank you. We have on the phone now Mayor Dan Sullivan. Mayor Dan, how are you, sir?
Hey, good morning. Hi, guys. Haven't talked to you in a while, so I figured I better check in and see what's up.
Well, it's the perfect time to call because I'll tell you, it was painful. It was excruciating to sit here and listen to Dan Kendall yesterday describe why he's supporting the Walker Beltrami ticket and not you and Parnell. And I just, for the life of me, can't understand. I don't know. Did you see the clip yet, or have you heard anything about this?
People have texted it to me, the link, and I haven't opened it yet. I figured I'll do that maybe at lunchtime today or something. I get a break. But
basically what he said was that he doesn't agree with Walker on anything, and yet he's going to vote for him simply because he's his friend.
Well, they have Valdez connections, and sometimes those kind of routes supersede. Dan was born and raised in Valdez, and of course Walker, former mayor of Valdez, lived there for many years. So
now it makes sense.
I think there's a little Valdez connection there that, people from Valdez, they're very proud of where they live and where they come from, and sometimes there's a bond there. So I'll give him a pass on that one. I mean, I disagree with his choice, obviously, but, relationships can do, make for strange bedfellows sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose that has something to do with it. I've always wondered, Mayor Dan, if, and I don't know if I'm crossing the line here, but I know that Bill Walker has made untold millions as an attorney working for the city of Valdez. And I know he seems to be dead set on that pipeline going through Valdez, nowhere else, no exception. There's just something fishy about that I can't really put my finger on. Is there anything there that...
Well, he's been called out on that, and so in his latest discussions of the gas line, he has said anywhere Tidewater works for him now.
Oh, yes.
Because I think people have called him out on that very thing, because he was adamant about it going to Valdez, which it could be seen as pretty self-serving given.
When was the last time he held that position officially, that it was Valdez or nothing?
All I know is that within the last week or two, I saw in print where he had said anywhere to Tidewater is now acceptable to him.
I think it's a couple months old. It's a position that's a couple months old. He must have been pushed real hard off that.
Yeah, it was more recent than a couple months, I think, though, Glenn. But anyway, besides the point, bottom line is I called in just to kind of update you on what's going on in our fair city. We're releasing our budget today.
Oh, good.
And just like last year, the budget will actually be millions of dollars less than last year's budget.
That's unheard of.
Not an increase that's smaller than what people wanted, but instead of last year's 476 million, it'll be about 469, 470 million.
Wow.
So a true reduction. There'll be a property tax relief because we do have a broader tax base now with all the commercial buildings that have gone up, and so it's a good story for the taxpayers and no decline in service associated with it. So it goes to show you can do it, and one of the reasons I want to kind of get my teeth into state government because I think we can do the same thing at any level of government, and I kind of know how to do it. So looking forward to having that opportunity for my state.
Glenn, I don't mean to be a kiss ass here, but
go ahead. Please
okay,
feel
then
free.
I will.
Yeah.
If you give me, you're the mayor. You give me permission. Glenn
Yes,
and
sir,
I are drooling over the possibility of one day seeing a governor, Dan Sullivan.
Well, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. One thing
One
at a
day.
time. You know, you got to take the challenge you've got in front of you, do the best you can, and then you think about those things further down the road, I think. But, you know, I'm getting a little long in the tooth, too. You know, I might be a young man.
You are not.
in a few
You
years.
look 40. It's
I've seen you
ridiculous.
do 100 push-ups.
Well, 50, but not 100.
So what was it, 50? Okay.
We're
Yeah.
talking with Mayor Dan Sullivan, running for lieutenant governor. I'm really confused on the union's position on AO 37. It's a vote yes. We have to uphold the passage of the law. If you vote no, you're voting to repeal. Am I correct so far?
Yeah, no means you don't want the law. Yes means you do want the law.
Right.
It's just the opposite of SB 21, which confuses me because in both cases, people were petitioning to have a law undone, and yet in one case it's no, in the other case it's a yes, which means the vote no people can take advantage of all the millions that were spent on the.
There'll be some
the
confusion,
vote no.
but the baseline is you got to vote yes on Anchorage Ordinance 37, Proposition 1, the one at the very end of the ballot after all the judges, after all the other three things, after all the candidates. It's the very last thing on the ballot.
Yep, and folks need to vote yes to retain it. It's worked. We've signed 6 major contracts with our city unions, AO 37 provisions of fairness in terms of compensation. All those different provisions are contained in every single contract. The members ratified those contracts. The leadership basically negotiated them. So if it's such a horrible ordinance, why are we as far down the road with labor negotiations as we are? We're negotiating 3 more right now, police, fire, and IBEW mechanics, and we're going to close those out before the end of the year. So it works, it's fair to the taxpayer, and it's fair to the employees, and there's no reason to undo it.
How do you talk and debate with people who are vote yes people and they say keep Anchorage safe? I've had so many people say, well, then don't be surprised when the response times go down when you're in an emergency, and I just think that's a fear tactic.
You know what, I can't tell you, and it's actually the vote no people that are doing that. We want people to vote.
Yes, that's right. See how confusing it is.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I can't tell you, Bonnie, how disappointed I am that public safety officials are going to community council meetings and using scare tactics. Public safety folks are supposed to protect us, not scare us. And it's just so disappointing to me that those professionals are acting so unprofessional.
It's almost threatening, saying, well, then, you vote yes, we won't be there to protect you.
Yeah, that's absolutely untrue. There's nothing in the law that does that. What they're concerned about is management actually under AO 37 takes over its original right to schedule people, to assign shifts, to assign overtime.
Unfortunately, we're out of time, but we appreciate the call, Mayor.
My pleasure. Good
Thank
to
you,
guys.
All
Bye.
right, Mayor Dan Sullivan, 844.
My pleasure. Good to see you guys.
All right, Mayor Dan Sullivan, 844.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Give him a call, 569-1080, KOAN.
The highway, a strip of asphalt to carry you between points A and B. But in an all-new 2015 Mercedes-Benz GLA, there is no point B. Because when you're driving a GLA from Mercedes-Benz, you're not concerned with the destination, only the adventure. With off-road transmission mode and a sleek design, this SUV performs with confident style on any terrain. And no matter where your adventure takes you, the all-new GLA's sporty, expressive styling fits in, yet stands out, complementing the many sides of you. See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer today and see the world differently in a GLA 250 4MATIC, starting at $33,300.
MSRP for a 2015 GLA 250 4MATIC excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details.
Mercedes-Benz of Anchorage. The best or nothing.
I'm Bill Walker, independent candidate for governor. Byron Malott and I set partisanship aside to form a unified ticket to lead Alaska. My mentor, Wally Hickles, said, during the early days of Alaska, it wasn't them and us, it was all of us.
I'm Byron Malott, candidate for lieutenant governor. Bill Walker and I share a passionate belief in the future of Alaska. Our history is one of uniting to overcome even the greatest of odds. Our best achievements come when we put Alaska first.
Paid for by Bill Walker for governor.
Hi, I'm Cliff Grove, chair of Last Common Ground. I'm inviting you to a free public forum on Alaska's fiscal future this Saturday, October 4th, at the Wildemarson Theater at the Lusac Library. It's an all-day forum from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. You can pick the parts you want to go to. Lunch will be available for a small fee, or you can bring your own. At this forum, we'll be taking a nonpartisan look at the big picture of Alaska's public finances and help Alaskans understand Alaska's fiscal future and how we can live with less. This Saturday, October 4th, at the Wildemarson Theater. See you there.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Weekday mornings from 6.
All right, 8:47. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. Keith Montanok, Specialty Truck and Auto. He's a mechanic you can trust. He's got a great team of mechanics, all ASE certified. What does that mean? I have no idea. I know they're good. I know they're well trained. And Keith's a good guy. I mean, let's just call where the rubber meets the road here. Keith Montanok is a good man. He's a trustworthy fella. And if you're going to take your car in, let's be honest, you don't know. You don't know what's wrong with it. You don't know. He can tell you anything. That's why Keith Montanok is so valuable as a mechanic, because you can trust him. I'm telling you, he is one of the greatest guys I've ever known. He gives his life to help the military. He's one of the most exemplary citizens on the planet, and he's a great mechanic that you can trust. Here's his number, 349-1637, 349-1637. He's right across the street from the Long Branch Saloon off of Abbott. Keith Montanok. All right, our number, 569? Yep, 1080. That it? 569-1080?
KOAN, KVNT.
We should have Bonnie say the phone number the way she says country. 569-1080. All right, let's go to David. David, you're on.
Hey, good morning. That commercial was great. For a while, I thought you were talking about me.
No. You're a man I can trust, but I don't think mechanically I would let you work on my car.
Boy, you're spot on that one, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, you were talking about the police and firemen unions here, and, we got some great people providing great public service here in the community, but I've been to 3 of the community council meetings, and last night it was at Halo, and they have a representative from each, the fire department union and the police union, standing up and basically fear-mongering the audience. And it's very similar to Vince Beltrami in New York.
Yeah.
Going door to door and asking for protection money because you know what's going to happen.
Hey, you got a nice business here, I hate to see anything bad happen to you, like a window break or something.
Just like in New Orleans. Same thing happens. But it's and that's what they're doing. They're saying, wow, we can't guarantee that public safety is going to be, it's going to go downhill if AO 37 stays on the books. Yeah. Oh, give me a break, guys.
That's right. It's thuggery and it's threatening.
And David, what they're asking for literally, not figuratively, literally, is to sit on both sides of the negotiating table.
Oh, just like the school district today. But the good thing is they're very efficient in what they do, in that they don't have to get the envelope from you when they come to your door for the protection money. You just get that little green card every spring.
The city sends it out for them.
City sends it out for them, and then and the other thing people need to look at in this equation is, if AO 37 goes off the books, we go back to the beggage days.
That's right.
Of tremendously high wages for the police department, fire department, and the union workers.
Yep.
And what that's going to do, that's going to take money out of the school district.
Yes.
Because, hey,
it's going to take police off the streets. It'll take firemen off the streets. Right? I mean, this is not a complicated formula. If you've got a certain amount of money, you can employ 100 cops at $140,000 or 140 cops at $100,000. It's not that hard.
No, it was basic math, Glenn. And the guy that spoke last night, the fireman that spoke last night, he only made $233,000 last year in paying benefits. It's like, wait a minute.
Wow.
4 years you make $1 million?
He made how much last year?
$233,000 he cost the community of Anchorage.
No.
And it's like 4 years from now, you've made $1 million off of it.
Yeah.
That's not public service, by the way. That's ridiculous. Anybody who says that's public service, that's outrageous.
Thanks for the heads up, Dave.
You're welcome. Bye.
Appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
That's not public service.
569-1080. Let's go to Michael.
Hi. Thank you very much for taking my call. I'm calling on two things, so I'll kind of talk quickly. This is Michael Chambers with United for Liberty, and we are going to be sponsoring a debate on
AO37.
AO37
Oh, good.
On Friday, October the 17th at the Assembly Chambers there at the Lusac Library. And we're also going to be dispersing tickets to your radio station that you'll be able to give to callers that come in. So that's going to be a hot debate there. So
Well, you're giving tickets to our radio station?
So
the
you can
unions
actually-
have packed all these so that you don't have a fair representation of who's there. All the people who are getting paid, in essence, to go out and vote. So, so UFL knows their trick and is trying to figure out how to get a fair representation of the city.
There you go.
I like
and
that.
so the second thing is I wanted to speak with regard to right now I vacated the chair of the Alaska Libertarian Party until after the election because I'm directly involved in Deanne Stevens' campaign up in Mountain View. And so I don't speak to the Libertarian Party because I'm not the chair, but as a Libertarian I will be back in that chair after the election. But I want to speak to this particular issue of abortion. When I came into the Libertarian Party a couple of years ago, we had to sign an agreement that said that I validated my membership with a non-aggression, that I agreed to non-aggression because Libertarians believe in no force against an individual. And I contested that. And the particular reason why I contested it was because the Declaration of Independence tells us that we should aggress against our country if, in fact, it becomes tyrannical. So, but libertarians do believe in a non-aggression against an individual, and that clearly, as far as I'm concerned, that clearly puts me as pro-life because it's certainly an aggression toward an individual, toward a person. The only definition is whether or not a libertarian recognizes a fetus as a person. I happen to recognize them as a person. So
why are you associated with a party that doesn't give a rat's ass?
Well, like I say, every party has people that are pro-life and
But what's more important than life?
Well, nothing. Life,
so why are you
liberty,
part of a
and the
party
pursuit
that doesn't care about life?
Well, Lisa Murkowski's a libertarian, or is a Republican.
Yeah, but most Republicans are pro-life.
And I appreciate that in them. And I am
But
doing
very,
everything I
very,
can
very,
to
very
have
few
input.
believe in the libertarian movement that baby should be protected.
Oh, no, that's not true. There's tremendous
I've never met a libertarian candidate who has said to me, yes, we should protect that baby.
Mark Fish.
Go interview Deanne Stevens, because she'll certainly tell you that, and she's a candidate.
I thought she was running for Republican. I thought she was a Republican.
No, she's a libertarian.
Oh.
So Mark Fish is not only, they'll all tell you they're pro-life, but I mean, they want the government to actually protect that baby. Mark Fish would be for protecting that baby.
Correct.
With the government.
Yes.
So do you
Mark
think that this Care Clift was letting her personal views cloud what the libertarians believe?
Sure. Well, yes. The libertarians, it depends on how you define that, but I'm telling you very clearly that we sign a pact, or that within our principles, we do not believe, again, of initiated aggression. A lot of times, like as an example, Ron Paul had issues with regard to saying, well, wouldn't you aggress against a nation? We don't initiate aggression. And abortion is an initiated aggression against a person. It's just whether or not you want to define that definition of what a person is. I'm assuming that CARE doesn't recognize a fetus as a person.
She does not.
Well, Michael, that
read.
is a very brave stance on your part, and I thank you for taking it. I think maybe you'll probably educate a lot of people in the Libertarian Party that they'll have to think twice about it, because I think a lot of people are uncomfortable saying what CARE said on this program.
And I appreciate that, Glenn.
Well, and one thing to her point about it not breathing, that is completely false. It's breathing through the mother's blood. The blood is oxygenated. It's breathing through that. I guess, if somebody gets in a horrible car accident and is on life support, we should just pull the plug.
Hey, Michael, can I use you as a guinea pig?
Sure. Not a
Bonnie
problem.
is trying to change me, and so we're going to see if it works. Are you going to vote for Dan Sullivan in the Senate race?
You know, actually, in fact, you know what I've done now? See, because I am quasi somewhat the chair of the Alaska Libertarian Party, ethically, I have a candidate in that race, and obviously, as the chair, I have to line up behind that candidate. But what I'm actually doing is I'm not being real vocal. Okay, I'm not vocally coming out. You don't see me vocally
So,
coming out.
Michael, are you going to vote for Dan Sullivan in the Senate race?
You know, when I step into that booth, I'm going to vote. I will tell you that. And
But you won't tell us if you're going to vote for Dan Sullivan?
Actually, I haven't made up my mind right now.
You
I
haven't.
can't tell you that.
Would it be fair and appropriate for me to say that if you don't vote for Dan Sullivan, that you might be quitting?
Might be quitting? No.
Quitting on your country?
No.
I'm saying that with a smile.
No, I know. But,
you don't think that would be fair for me to insinuate?
I think we're kind
Is that the way I was supposed to say it,
Blackwater.
Glenn?
No.
Michael, how does it make you feel when Dan calls people quitters who are not voting for Dan Sullivan?
No, not people. People who are free market people. Like Michael understands the free market. Michael gets it. He's not a leftist. He's not been brainwashed by leftism.
Right.
So he gets it. He understands there's 100,000 miles between Mark Begich and Dan Sullivan. He gets that. Those are the people that really, they just kind of bother me a little bit.
So what do you think about that?
Well, I just, I look for the day when we have a little bit more diversity in the conversations.
But in the now, in the present, Michael.
I'm much closer to Dan Sullivan than I am Mark Begich.
Yay! Okay, thank you.
Thank you for not quitting, Michael.
I am closer in that regard, but I just believe that we need to get out of this issue about that
Democrats aren't getting out of the issue. Okay, the Democrats are solidifying. Correct. They are organizing their unions, and they're.
I think the head of the Libertarian Party is going to vote Republican in the Senate race. That's my guess. Thank you, Michael, for the call. Have a good weekend. Everybody, have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.